Okay. Well, getting that going, get everything set up. Now I just need to pull up the actual game and we can get this show on the road. I'm also feeling much better because, hot damn, my throat was killing me earlier.
Yeah, well, at least you're feeling better.
Yeah, I was a little nervous, truth be told, just because. Oh, that is loud. Hot damn. Yeah, we
I'm
are.
not used to seeing only from someone screen.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to the sound settings and turning that. Oh yeah, that was cranked all the way up. We're. No, 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 no. Okay, that's better. I think. I hope and pray. We'll see. Hey, James, how's it going? We're taking a break from the usual streams. I'm going to be doing a painting stream later tonight. However, I need to charge my phone so I can do that. However, I also need to work on making other content, so I've got this going. And I've also got my friend Crab with me, because
Hello.
honestly, it's a little bit more fun just to mess with people whenever I play games. So, just hop.
I'm not even sure if I'm coming through on the stream or not.
I mean, you're on the
Maybe I am.
stream.
I don't know. Yeah. I also don't know if my audio is coming through.
You know, that is a good question.
I'm watching and like my thing's lighting up whenever you're talking or whatever. Or it might just be that I'm like delayed on my phone.
I mean, I'm also delayed on my own phone whenever I've got it open just so I can look at chat better.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to tune this down to 20 then.
James, are you able to hear me?
Should be able to. That was the point. So that way you guys can heckle me on stream. Door's still closed? Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, no, everything's pretty good, James. Been getting over being sick. I got COVID over the weekend. Mostly on Friday, it hit me hard. But now my voice is mostly returned, and now we're just getting back to the grind on this game. Because I need to get some things figured out. I also want to do some level grinding before I actually head out for the main quest. Alright, perfect. James says that he can hear you too. Alright. Okay, we're just gonna sell some stuff real fast.
I don't even remember the last time I was in like a Discord call or anything.
I rarely get in them. I mean, for the most part, I don't do Discord that much. I just go into steal or send memes. But,
Well, I mean,
hey,
the
no
only
worries.
reason I've been using like a few of my friends off VR chat use it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's enough to
Speaking of
sell.
VR chat, that is a weird experience. The other time, like, there's an instance for like no time to talk. Basically, just like speed dating setup, but it's like just talking. And I
Oh,
got paired up with dude with Shredder avatar that was painted to look like Batman,
okay. That's interesting, actually.
and he was in character too, so that was incredibly interesting. I was like so stunned, I just was like at a loss for words the entire time.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I would be a little surprised having to deal with that. But honestly, VR chat's weird to me because I liked playing it with my friends back in like 2017 when I did play it. And I have a VR headset. I could play it again for the full experience. It's just half of what I find on VR chat, maybe it's just because I have a horrible sense of direction or I get the dumbest luck possible. I either find like the hypersexual worlds or I find just a calm world with nothing to do in. The calm ones are probably my favorite because there's nothing to do in them, so I get to at least enjoy taking some time to rest.
Yeah, that is basically how the worlds are. Either find like a calm one, a weird one, or a questionable one.
Oh yeah. I think the last time I signed into VR chat was 21. And I'm in there, I'm exploring, just trying to figure out, get my bearings, see if I can connect with some old friends. Some random stranger walks up to me and goes, "Hey man, you want to see something cool?" It's like an MMD model of Hestia from Danmachi. Instantly, all the clothes fly off. Of course, MMD physics on everything, very detailed. Throws his clothes back on and just runs away. It's like, it has been less than 5 minutes and I've been flashed in VR chat.
That sounds like my first experience too. Fucking, I was in like a McDonald's world, and literally I was like just exploring the world, walk into the cooler, and I just walk into this couple, like, doing things, and I'm like, wow.
Yep.
Did not expect to see that at McDonald's in game. Thought I'd see that at McDonald's in real life, because people are weird, but...
Oh, trust me, if you... As somebody who worked at McDonald's, the weirdest thing that happened in a McDonald's bathroom was either drugs, or we had some, Do you know those signs that appear on the internet where people always wonder, why do those exist? Of like the dude bending over and blowing over the toilet and the walls?
Yeah,
I got sent in to clean one of those. I
worked at Taco Bell.
Oh no.
I worked at a Taco Bell for years, and one night, this one person, they looked sketchy as heck. They walked into the bathroom, and like, I don't know what was going on there because I was just trying to do my job, get through the night.
Yeah.
I was sent into the bathroom to clean it, and I found powder all over the back of the toilet. I'm like, oh, man. In the Taco Bell bathroom of all places.
But of course, where else do you die?
Yeah, at least I didn't find no body.
True.
They at least stood up and walked out before they died, I guess.
That too. Oh gosh.
At that point, I just think I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah. I know that feeling very well. Okay, we're just gonna try Dress Bluff. No, because I remember, I think the worst thing I've had to do was at my current job about 4 or 5 months ago. One of our residents got back in contact with a drug dealer, and she was on meth. And we're not a lockdown care facility for people. And so a lot of what we have to do is we just have to let them do whatever they want. And the issue with that being is that if we let them do everything that they want to and we can't lock down the facility or restrain them, we just have to let them go. And of course, when somebody's high on meth and already has vision problems, they're not going to see well. And so she was walking into traffic a lot. It took 2 of us to wrangle her out of traffic and to try to get her to sit down. But then she would always talk about how, oh, I don't want to sit right here. My family's over there. I can see them. It's like, no. Oh, no. She was seeing demons. I don't mean literal, but more of just the shadow people were apparently staring at her. That's what she called them. It's like, oh no, man. And of course, when we talked to her boss about it, we're like, hey, we found powder in her room, but because residents have rights, we're not allowed to remove it. So there is a lot of meth on her desk. And we can't clean or dispose of it. The paramedics came, they asked her questions. She was too lucid, so legally they could not force her to leave or go to the hospital for treatment. But thankfully, apparently, there was a former cop who was the paramedic at the time. And so he just called in a favor and somebody else was able to come in and clean it up. We weren't able to. But it just turned into a whole mess of us just going, oh no.
Yeah. I have never seen anyone on meth, but I've met people who did meth.
It varies from person to person. Thankfully, this person is extremely mellow, so there wasn't too much of an issue with her.
Yeah.
But of course, there's only so much you can hope for with that. It was a nightmare all around. Because of course, if somebody's high, they're not going to listen to you that much. And this person in general just sucks at sitting still for more than 5 seconds anyway. So add meth into the equation, it's not going to end well for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just kind of a whole thing. I just remember that was one of the days where I hated that job immensely that day.
I get that.
Because overall, I like my job, I like helping people, but the fact that technically by Oregon law, you know, our residents have rights, so we can't remove their personal property from their room, even if it's illegal and they're not supposed to have that in the facility. There was nothing we could do, and we couldn't enforce that rule, really. It's like, you know, I understand it's like, for their, like, personal property protections, we're not supposed to remove or touch anything. What about our physical health and safety?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that...
My main question is then, what if a reporter gets a hold of the story, and they report on the whole, like there was meth in their room and tries to frame it as the facility's distributing it?
Well, the thing is, yeah, from what I understand, technically, if anybody were to be caught or have to deal with that, technically there's not much that would be done. Not necessarily because it's, like, horrible. It's more of, on our side, we would just have to deal with listening to other people work on having to... Oh, what's it called? Essentially, it's just all legalese that we just have to deal with. We aren't in trouble for anything they have in their rooms. I think it's that, by law, I believe in, are responsible for ensuring they stay safe regardless of that. And so that's kind of the whole main issue is, if we're making sure they're okay, then it's okay, we don't have to worry. But if we knowingly know there's something there, then we have to try to prevent them from doing something too drastic.
Yeah.
But of course, there's only so much you can do. And of course, there's only so much we as people want to handle.
Yeah.
So.
It's like, unless you're in a field where you're allowed to dispose of that, you really don't want to handle drugs.
Oh, for sure. Then, but did you have some for the trouble? No. I mean, not enough that affected me, but I was in her room. If any of the meth was disturbed or airborne as dust, there's a decent chance I probably breathed it in a little. Because of course
Just remember, if you're dropping off the grid, then you probably got
Yep. I didn't have a mask on. We didn't know she had it on top of her. I mean, technically, I kept on saying desk. It was her dresser, and her dresser's right by her door. So open the door, any particles that are airborne are gonna fly up. So,
Swing the door a little fast and it'll turn into winter.
yep. So there really wasn't much we could do because we just walked in. They're like, okay, she's on something. We know she's on something because she's acting more crazy than normal. So we need to find out what's going on. We need to find out what we can do. We all walked in, and I walk in. The HR lady's like, yeah, it's right here.
She's planning on going out like a Midwestern Tony Montana.
Yep. Starly, I'm sending you to the Shadow Realm. But yeah, no. It that was just a that shift sucked because she was on meth before I got to my shift to the hospital to receive treatment. Which of course she wasn't wrong, but it sucked that that was basically our only options.
Yeah.
Ah. Take one of these. Yeah, no. I believe I need a cherry berry. So we are going to swap out. But yeah, no. Working at an assisted living facility has made me realize a lot of things that I never want to deal with in life. People be crazy. I don't mind if they are crazy.
I mean, I've known that people are crazy. I lived in a trailer court. Half the people there never looked like they were sober a day in their life.
Oh, that makes sense.
I mean, there was this one guy that, like, I don't know if he ever actually was drunk or not, but he was always, like, red in the face and always looked like he was sweating somehow. Like, middle of the winter, and it'll look like he's sweating.
Oh boy.
I don't know for sure if he was doing anything, but I mean, that's the only conclusion that my brain can jump to.
Not a.
So I never saw him like go to work or nothing.
I mean, you know what they say, better safe than sorry. Especially with how people are nowadays.
He was an alright guy, honestly, but just it looked like he was doing that stuff.
Yeah. And let's be real. People always say don't judge a book by its cover, but you are allowed to do that because the cover is supposed to give you an idea of what you're looking at.
Yeah, if I don't like romance books, and I'm surely allowed to judge a book that looks like a romance book.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because a book can always surprise you. Maybe people are just bad at designing the cover. But even if the cover is poorly designed, you can still get something decent out of it.
I mean, I saw this one book that someone was like promoting on TikTok called like "My Baby Daddy is a Roach" or something like that. And it was like an actual roach, not like some like low life, but no, just an actual roach. And
Isn't
they had
that
like a whole series of
I was about to say, isn't that the one black author who like has a bunch of books like that? Where he's got
yeah,
like a billionaire werewolf CEO story as well.
I've never seen that one. I've only seen the roach stories.
I was about to say, because there is like some black author, and I'm not trying to like say anything racial about it, it's just I don't remember his name, but this dude got a lot of notoriety on like Book Talk because he has the most unhinged covers and unhinged stories but they sell decently well because it's always like
I
the
mean,
most up. So what?
some some of the titles look like Dr. Seuss like rhymes, and I
Yeah.
was just saying that like every time I see one, I'm like, is this a new one or is this one that I've seen before?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I kind of want to buy them just to see what like the writing's actually like.
Yeah. I. I mean, that's kind of why I may or may not have a book talk book on my library shelf. Not that I. I mean, it's Fourth Wing, so that's like one of the most milk toast book talk books to ever have.
I I actually never got too big into reading. I've read more just whatever the school forced me to read,
That's
which
fair.
were pretty good books, like The Outsiders, A Child Called It, and like Lord of the Flies, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. I
They're all good books in their own.
no, that's fair. I used to like writing and reading a lot. The problem is, as I've gotten older, my eyes have gotten worse, and I just struggle to read. Like,
See, I used to like writing. I was left-handed actually, and like the teacher didn't like that I was left-handed, so she
oh,
retaught me using my right hand. It wasn't like one of those like uh, Christian schools or whatever where they like slap your hand if you write with the left hand. But no, she was just like a public school teacher. Didn't like that I was left-handed. Forced me to write with my right hand. Now I can barely write with either hand.
oh boy, yeah. I,
So I was like doing cursive with my left hand.
mm-hmm. I was ambidextrous as a kid, but because I was struggling to learn how to write correctly, my mother just sat me down and went, "Okay, you need to choose a hand. Choose a hand. You go with that." So I chose my right hand, and she made me only write with my right hand. I can kind of use my left hand for things nowadays, but it's all in my right hand for the most part.
I will say this, I did write a whole lot more different than every other kid though. I was left-handed, yeah, but I held a pencil by the very back of it, like right by the eraser.
Oh,
So I was
how?
basically Harry Potter
Casting Wingardium Leviosa just to write a friggin' letter in cursive. Oh my goodness. I can see that being fun, but also that that's interesting. I've never heard of that before.
I I don't know how I did it. Looking back on it, it's like surprising. 'Cause I remember the fact that I wrote like that, but I don't know how I managed.
I could not say. That's all on you, my guy. But I don't know. Oh, you've got Fourth Wing too, James? I I will say cuz I got into Fourth Wing because of my ex cuz we were just talking one day cuz I as a teenager, I know my mother doesn't watch my stream, so I'm not worried about this part. But my my mother and I would go to Goodwill often, and that's where I'd buy a lot of my books growing up. Because getting books for young adults for 79 cents to $1 per book, whereas a new book would be like $15, $20. Yeah, yeah, Goodwill was a decent option back in the day. So I would.
I like good. I got a pair of like Air Jordans from Goodwill for $14.
Oh, nice.
Like barely worn or anything.
Yeah, but so I just remember I was telling my ex about it because one day I bought a book that looked interesting. I believe it was like 85 cents. It was like one of those, you know how like the old Halo novels were, where it's just these squat little books that you can like fit in a pocket. So the pages are small, but the book's super compact and everything's paper
So
thin.
kind of like a pocket, or
Kind of, yeah. Just super thin and compact. It was just one of those kinds of books. It had a picture of like a woman in like leather on the cover, but she was covered. It was like leather jacket. It was like a biker jacket and then like a pair of jeans. And it was some sort of like fantasy battle series or whatever that I was like, okay, that seems cool. My mom looked it over. She went, okay, why not? So I bought it. I found out that was a smut book. So, of course, I was just telling her, yeah, so I've accidentally read a smut book because I didn't realize that was a smut book. I just kind of opened it up one day, started reading, and it didn't have any smut for like the first 100 or 20 pages. Then I got to the smut scenes. I'm like, oh. Oh. Of course, I've never told my mother this because that poor woman does not need to be too worried about me. I already do enough concerning things as is. However, because of that, I just remember that I was telling her about it and she goes, oh yeah, no, that was my case with Fourth Wing. I'm like, Fourth Wing? And she was telling me about like, oh yeah, it was this book I saw on the internet. It seemed interesting. I wanted to read it, so I started. Then I found out it was a smut book. So, of course, I'm like, hold on. We're both religious. I'm a convert. You were raised in the church your whole life. So, of course, I want to read this book because I'm like, is it actually a smut book? Is it? So, of course, I bought a copy of it, and I've got it on my shelf. I read it, and I'm like, okay, there's no spice in this. This is salt and pepper. Maybe it's just because, as my name suggests, as the degenerate out of the two of us, because she was much more wholesome. It's like, this isn't really degenerate. There's not a lot of spice in here. She goes, what do you mean? There's so much spice in here. I'm like, maybe for you, but a makeout scene? That, you can put that in any book. I don't know how that's...
Smut book? Smut?
Yeah, basically.
It's like the Lord of the Rings without the walking.
No, because again, I don't want to like make fun of her too much because that was like her first exposure to that kind of literature. Yeah. But of course,
I guess we can make a subcategory of smut, like light smut or something like that, and that would fall into there.
Yeah. However, my whole thing is, when I told her as I was reading the book, my biggest criticism was simple. The author uses the word fuck so many damn times. I swear, reading through that book... Like...
Was the author Vivzipop?
No. Vivzipop could learn from her. Here's the thing. She is a published author with many books. This is not... Fourth Wing was not her first book. But the way I would describe her usage of the word fuck in Fourth Wing is like if you gave a rebellious Christian girl, like teenage girl, the first opportunity to write a book and use swear words for the first time in her life. See, James knows exactly what I'm talking about in chat. He agrees. Because it really is. It's like every third sentence, she has to use fuck as an adjective, a verb, or anything. Like, the story's good in Fourth Wing. I am not saying the story's bad. But oh my goodness gracious. It's like listening to a middle schooler use the word fuck for the first time in their life. They just learned it and they want to use it everywhere. It's like,
Well, do you know she got paid an extra $1 every time she wrote it? Just like an ongoing bet with her friend.
You know what? I would respect the hell out of her if that was the case. But yeah, no, that... I have no problem with word choice. I have no problem with swearing in literature. It's just, there's such a thing as... You can throw too much spice into a dish and overspice it. Too much black pepper and you're choking on every bite. Too much salt and you're dehydrated on every taste.
Speaking of too much black pepper, I did that the other night.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to. I filled one of the salt and pepper shakers up, and I threw the black pepper in the pepper one, and I had just a little bit left in the little spice bottle. And so I was like, I'm just gonna waste this on the food that I just heated up. I throw it in the food, and I'm like, okay, this is a lot. And I keep on shaking, there's still more, still more, still more. And finally, I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to use the last of this in one go. So I sat back down, I looked, like, I hold the ball up to the light, and I look at it, it's like, not even halfway from what it was. I'm like, ah. And then I, like, took a bite into the food and realized I ruined it. And just decided to bear through it.
Makes sense. I can see that. Just, ay.
Food was good though.
I mean, I would
for all the black pepper. If I put like maybe half of what I put in there, then it would probably still be good.
I mean, fair. I would hope that it definitely tastes good. But yeah, overspicing is... You can definitely do that. I remember as a kid with my grandmother, I was learning to cook. She was teaching me. And I learned a valuable lesson of, you can... Because what I was doing is I was adding ingredients to tomato soup. So I added some black pepper. Then I added cheese. And salt. And then more black pepper. And I just remember that was the nastiest tomato soup I've ever had. And I had to choke it down. Because my grandmother was trying to make me learn, you need to use spices not cautiously, but intelligently. You need to pace yourself when putting them in, and I did not know this. But damn did I learn.
Something like that.
Yeah, that lesson stuck with me for the rest of my life. So I've always been cautious when adding spice, because I like spices in my food, but I do try to be careful so I don't overdo it. But I will say, I've gained more of an appreciation for cumin recently. I never used that spice too much before, but I found out that it actually works really well. Sorry, what?
I think that was a spice that I think that was a spice that I recently picked up. Now that I think about it, yeah, it was. That was like my most recent addition to my spice rack.
It's really good. What I normally live off of is I just do rice bowls, and what I'll do is when I finish cooking the rice in my rice cooker after the fact, I will just... what's the word I'm looking for? I'll make fried rice on subsequent usage for the rice. And so what I've learned is when doing fried rice, throwing some cumin in as I'm frying up the rice actually gives it a really good flavor. I like it a lot. Okay.
Now I wish that I had great so I could do that.
I mean, I just have a rice cooker, and that's kind of like the one thing I've lived life off of is rice and meat. And so, I would have my soup pot that I bought, because I bought a large one a while ago. However, that was somebody got rid of that. And I've been salty about it ever since, because I spent like $40 on it because I bought it for like a church potluck that I had to provide food for. I was doing like a massive batch of like some shrimp soup. And so of course I needed a large pot if I'm doing a potluck for church. And my goodness gracious, I loved that pot. It was really good. I could meal prep for an entire week with one batch in that thing. was taken from me.
I had this one Coca-Cola glass, and I loved it because I could drop it from like my height. I'm 5'11", so like just at my, like right up next to my mouth, I could drop it onto like a hardwood floor and it wouldn't break. It was very durable.
Nice.
And one day I wake up in the middle of the night because my roommate's brother was staying there with us, and he was an asshole. But anyway, I woke up to a loud bang, and so I like wait up a second, and like I go back to sleep because I'm like, I just closed and I just want to sleep. Next day, I go out, in the sink is my broken Coca-Cola glass, my now broken one. And I'm just sitting there like, how did you break it into multiple pieces?
When there's
like,
Sorry, what?
Like, I'm just sitting there baffled because, like, that was my favorite glass because I could, like, literally open up a can, pour it in, and it was, like, perfect size.
Oh.
But, yeah, I mean, my roommate's brother was definitely not, like, gentle with anything, so, I mean, I can only imagine what he did.
Honestly, that's kind of the fun mystery, is wondering how.
Yeah.
It's a tragic situation, but you gotta... It's that... As the outsider on this one, I just kind of look at it like, I'm kind of impressed, and I'm curious how you managed to do that.
Yeah. My wife, when I first got with her, I had like a whole set of glass bowls that I got from my dad and all that. Well, not glass, they were ceramic, but either way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had them stacked, and like she was like trying to get two of them that were like slightly stuck together because they dried onto each other a little bit, like to separate. And so she like goes and shifts one just wrong, and it breaks cleanly in half.
Ooh.
And she was like in tears, and I'm just sitting there like, it's all right. That's happened to me like 5 times. I used to have like 8 of these, and now I only had like 3.
It happens, especially with glassware. I remember when I was a kid, it's like a short little goblet, like a stubby goblet for a wine glass. I just remember that I was drinking one day, and I just tilted the glass a little bit in my mouth, and I broke off a shard perfectly in shape with my mouth. And so, of course, we had to carefully extract it out of my mouth because a giant shard of glass broke in the perfect shape, outlining the inside of, like, my jawline. To this day, I don't know how we did that, because I was not biting down on that glass.
So, my wife wanted to go and watch the movie. It was like one of the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah.
I think Ride the Evil Dead or something like that. It had a scene where like one of the people that like got possessed or whatever just started chewing on like a glass cup and like was swallowing the glass, and that was like the first scene in like any movie to make me squirm in a long time.
Huh. I'd say I've never seen that movie.
It was an alright movie. Less scary, more like impressive effects and all that.
Ah.
At least to me, it was less scary and more just impressive effects.
Fair. That's just how it goes sometimes.
To be fair, I don't get scared too easily. I do jump at like jump scares, but they don't scare me too much.
I feel like jumping at a jump scares. Well, because
it's more like a bowling after a black one.
Yeah.
Just catches me.
Because I would say, in defense of that, is when it comes to jump scares, you really just... It's kind of instinctual, in my opinion, to just move away from the loud shrieking or the moment of, oh hey, something's kind of going on here. That's not good. You want to get away from it naturally.
I will say this, horror has not been the same since Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, it really hasn't.
Because, like, a lot of horror things now, they just want to have a jump scare. Because it's shown to be effective at getting a reaction.
Yeah.
But I've had a few games and, like, stuff where, like, it goes from a jump scare right into a chase, and that can be terrifying.
Because then it's, oh, your fight or flight instincts are kicking in. How much can we mess with you in regards to that? I think that works better. However, basic jump scare and Fade to Black, I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially because I've played some of the Five Nights at Freddy's games because I've had friends who wanted me to play them. And I remember I was forced to play the first one and the third one. First one I made it to night 5 without dying. The third one, I was just annoyed while playing it. Like, I understand why people like it, but I was just kind of playing through the game going, why do I get scared by shadows like this? But then there's only one guy I actually am going to get killed by. Like, what's the point here?
Yeah, and honestly, the Five Nights at Freddy's games were all decently fun. Just as long as you don't look at them as, like, pure horror. Because, like, I mean, my wife would be terrified playing them because she doesn't like animatronics, but
that's understandable.
For me, it's like, I've always loved animatronics. They are cool because it's Blaireau robotics.
Yeah.
But, like, so the Five Nights at Freddy's games, yeah, they are, like, horror. They're a horror genre, but gameplay is not overtly horror. It's just more management.
Yeah. I would say that I typically enjoy a bit more of... I'm trying to think. Because my favorite horror game is The Suicide of Rachel Foster. That one is my personal favorite.
I've never played that, to be honest. I actually don't play many horror games myself.
Fair. I liked it because if anybody cares about spoilers, I would say don't listen to this part as I rant. But the entire game is just gaslighting you into thinking there's a ghost in the mansion, like in the abandoned hotel you're in. There's no ghost, but the sound design is so good, and the way the story gaslights you into thinking you're not alone. It's kind of that feeling of like, it's the perfect suspension of disbelief because it's based on the real world. And you know how in the real world people have middling opinions about ghosts. And whether you do or don't believe in them, that can change things. And so as the game is gaslighting you the entire time about, hey, maybe there's a ghost here, maybe there isn't, it actually was really fun to get through that. I enjoyed that aspect a lot. But I also just think the gaslighting was really fun. The character and the writing was really good. However, that game's bogged down by a bunch of negative reviews because people didn't pay attention to the story. Which, I kind of want to do a playthrough of the game, just so that way I can also then make a review and be like, okay, you have a bad opinion on this game. I'm going to explain why.
Yeah, and I have been playing Assassin's Creed Unity, and I've seen a lot of people hate on it. But outside of the bugs that are generally present in most Ubisoft games, it's actually not that bad of a game. had like just a little bit more polish, then I'm pretty sure it would probably be the best Assassin's Creed game.
Oh.
Because in the intro sequence alone, it shows your character having the eagle vision ability and him not understanding much about it. And so he gets thrown into like a jail because like reasons, I don't remember exactly what. But then like an assassin that was already in the jail like realizes that he sees it. They do a breakout, and so your character runs through like the jail on the escape and gets up to the roof and is like, where are we going to go? And the assassin's like, we're going to jump. And your character's like, are you mad? And so for the first time, it actually just becomes a leap of faith. For like, since how long in the games?
Wow, okay.
Like, a lot of the games, they have it as like, oh, well, here's this super cool and iconic thing that they do. But they don't show, like, the fear that, like, goes through someone's head before it happens. They don't show like any doubt. They just have the person wholeheartedly commit to it instantly.
Okay.
He was like the first one with hesitation and stuff. And then like throughout the like entire story, he is an assassin and all that, but he's slowly maturing and realizing facts about life as he goes on. He's like trying to solve a murder of like his adoptive father and all this. It's like it's not that bad of a story when you really look at it.
Okay.
A lot of times when I like ask my friends and stuff what their favorite Assassin's Creed game was, who their favorite assassin was, they say Black Flag and Edward Kenway. And he is an assassin, but he became one technically accidentally.
Okay.
He saw a way to get money, and he decided to take it. And then he realized, hey, I'm helping bad people out, so I'm going to try and make things right. Which, fair enough, that's good character building. But then he's a pirate. I mean, he is very well known, very, like, against the law and stuff like that, because he's a pirate.
Yeah. Okay. I've just heard most people say that the best pirate game ever made was Black Flag. So that's kind of where I always had my interest.
It's a very good pirate game. Its ship, like, upgrade system, like, the boarding, all that stuff is really good. It has a decent story connecting to Assassin's Creed, but I would look at more as a pirate accidentally joining the Assassins than like an assassin doing assassin things.
Okay.
Kind of like the bringing a Viking into their ranks. They're not going to be overtly an assassin, but they are going to help further the cause.
Makes sense.
Which, speaking of Viking assassins, a long time ago on this app, iFunny, I had made a post and I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if there were Viking assassins? And everyone laughed at me on there. I'm just saying, they're like, man, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Combat would be really cool. And then, like, I heard that Assassin's Creed Valhalla was announced at one point, and I was like, who is laughing now?
True.
I mean, they probably still are because no one has been really too huge of a fan of the newer Assassin's Creed games, but from what I understand, they don't like the RPG elements, but either way, I thought it was kind of cool that I kind of prophesized that game.
Yeah. I was about to say, because I remember I've heard mixed things on Valhalla. I hear a lot of people enjoyed the gameplay, but I've also heard a lot of things that made sense and were similar to me as a Zelda fan of, it's a good game, it's not a good X game.
Yeah, I will say this, since Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey is like one of the first ones to actually bring back fully fledged assassins into the mix, because your character in there is recruited by what is his name? I think it's Basim, who is actually a part of the Brotherhood.
Okay.
So it's in its essence, it can be considered an Assassin's Creed game because of that. It's not like trying to explain the roots of any of it, which, I mean, the other two games can be considered Assassin's Creed games, Origins and Odyssey, but they're more just mercenary and like soldier style games that explain assassins.
Okay.
I haven't played Mirage or Shadows yet, so I don't know anything about those.
I've got a friend who has Shadows, but I haven't talked to him too much about it just because the last time I asked him about it, all he told me was that he and I are in the same boat with Pokemon as he is with Assassin's Creed. He kind of sold his soul to that series, and so he's just sticking with it, which I can't blame him because, yeah, that is me with Pokemon.
See, the newer Assassin's Creed games are not horrible. I do like the gameplay of them. I like how the gameplay does change a little bit from each one to each one, but part of me yearns for like the simpler gameplay that they like had for Assassin's Creed 4, Rogue, and all that stuff. The one that kind of just naturally evolved in Unity and Syndicate.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because that's definitely...
Throughout all of it, it felt familiar, but it also changed just enough from each game to be different.
Fair. I can definitely understand the feeling, just because where I've been at for the past while is with like the Legend of Zelda series. I understand why people like the Breath of the Wild games. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like open world games that much, and I wasn't that big a fan of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. They're fun to play, but they're not exactly what I would look at as the pinnacle of anything.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I'm part of the demographic that got into Zelda for the rich story and the lore. And so playing a game that basically says, yeah, we kind of just made this so it was set super far into the future, don't worry about any implications or connection to the story. That just wasn't exciting to play. And when I did play it, it was a fun game mechanically. It's just, I didn't care about the story. I didn't care about the calamity. I didn't care about the world. There weren't characters that I truly felt involved with. Everybody was too mysterious and distant, and so I just didn't care.
Yeah. I think that you can also apply some of those same arguments to, like, for instance, Friday the 13th, when they sent Jason into the future and, like, had, what was it, Uber Jason or whatever? It just did not feel the same. It felt kind of more like an Alien movie for, like, all the scenes I've seen of it. I actually haven't watched the movie, but it just felt very, like, it felt like trying to be a callback to Jason instead of, like, Jason himself to me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like, yeah, Jason is just a creature with the times, but he's also just, like, kind of a paranormal being that just keeps coming back. So it's like, how are you going to really mix that and futuristic tech really too well.
Well, ask a Hollywood producer, because they certainly thought that was the vision.
I feel like they just saw the success of like the Aliens and Predator movies and was like, let's cash in on that.
I can see that. Though anybody I know who's caught up with all the Aliens movies always tells me very decisive opinions about the more recent movies outside of the original three.
I have not watched the more recent movies. I do have them on disc. I just haven't watched them yet. But that is because, as a kid, one of the first science fiction movies I saw was Alien versus Predator.
Ah.
And so that blew my mind, especially considering the fact that after I saw the first two Alien vs. Predator movies, I got the Aliens vs. Predator game for 360. And I think that game was made by Sega.
Okay.
And that had like 3 separate campaigns. One where you play as an alien, one where you play as a predator, and one where you play as a human. And
I remember hearing
like,
about that, yeah.
It's the one game that I still wish I had on disc.
Fair. I remember, I think my friend had it on his PS Vita or whatever. That's where I remember seeing it. But that was also back when the Vita had those... It was kind of like the weird disc cartridge things.
Yeah, I've seen those. There's like a used game store near me, and I always look at those. I'm like, I do wonder how those work. Like, is it just a disc?
The only reason I've thought about it so much is because
that.
I was curious about it when I first saw that shape. I'm like, what the hell?
It's like those weird DVDs that are like in the shape of the character's head or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Which those do work. It's just the reason why they like look so weird is just because like it takes a whole lot more to make it. Then I think I saw one where it was like for the Shrek movie, and it was like just Donkey's head. But like I think that the thing explaining how it works just explains that it's like a really small format, but like they just have a lot of access to cutting the character's head shape or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it said. It's been a while since I've even seen that video explaining it.
No, understandable. I could not say
recently I learned how tank treads work from this one fucking TikTok video where they were like singing it like a sea shanty.
Really?
Yeah.
I was about to say,
I don't know who makes those videos, but like they catch my attention like nearly instantly, and it just sends me down a rabbit hole of useless info.
But the useless info can sometimes be the best info.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, got this. Okay. But yeah, no, I really have just been wondering a lot about older movies. It might just be because my feed right now is full of a bunch of Bionicle stuff on YouTube. But I kind of just want to rewatch the Bionicle movies again. I don't know why, I've got that itch in the back of my head.
I actually own like only 2 Bionicle movies. There was that one that I was like talking about with you with one like spider-legged dude and all that.
Yep. That would be the third one, I believe.
And then I think that the other one I got was like a Hero Reborn.
Yep, that's the fourth one.
It was like the one with the dude with the golden man.
Yep. God reincarnated
Wait, so
with a
actually,
mask of life on the other planet nearby.
so I actually have like the third and fourth one.
Yep.
Alright, now
Because
I got the first two now.
yeah, you can find them on YouTube for free. There's some people who did the chronological cut. So they do 2, 3, 1 with part of 2 spliced at the end of 3. And then you can just watch the fourth one at the end. Because the fourth one skips the best parts of the story.
Okay.
Well, it's because the first the one thing I love and will criticize Bionicle for is when they first made it, they made the movie as a supplementary to the comics. The problem is, if you read the comics, they just say, watch this section of the movie to know what happens here. And then they continue the story, and then later, watch this section of the movie to know what happens here. And they did that with between the comics and the first 3 movies. And so, of course, some parts of it, like I think the first one is almost entirely... Yeah. And the other thing is they have the optional side games. I haven't been able to check to see if the web games are preserved anywhere. Because you have you've got the comic books, the chapter books, and the movies, and the side games all had the story in different aspects in different areas.
That's why I'm a Transformers fan. All the different things that supposedly tie into each other are separate. Like Transformers Armada had 3 different continuities for it. And the show, the comics, and the games.
Honestly, that probably would be a lot better.
Or like how some things do, where like the comics and the movies and games all just follow different groups of characters. Or like different time periods.
Yeah. It's just...
I mean, Generation 1 had like the show, the English show, that had the Japanese continuity, which then goes into Headmasters and all that stuff. That has the Marvel comics for here in the States, and then it has the UK Marvel comics. 4 different continuities for G1.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm just kind of... When it comes to Bionicle, they did focus in so it was just the comics after a few generations. But I don't think they did pure comics without the like the chapter books until Gen... I think it was after Matoru's death when we went into the Sky, the Fantoka series. I think that's when they went pure comics. Because I know the Toa and Naika still had chapter books. So what?
My only complaint with Bionicles at this point, because it's very nostalgic, but my only complaint now is that they're going all brick built instead of like the actual Bionicle systems.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Lego sets.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that I said, no, I am not getting into that.
Like, how are you going to have Bionicle, a whole line built around this unique building system piece, and not have that system piece? It's like almost as bad as like the do for Star Wars, DC, and Marvel and all of them, where they have like that fake joint.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not even sure. Because they tried to revive Bionicle a little while ago.
Didn't they have like a minifigure scale Bionicle character?
Yeah, they
like when it was clips and hinge pieces.
Yeah, basically, they used to do, in the Bionicle set, they had... Oh. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, what they did a little while ago is they had the, they would make side, like, normal Lego-style building kits, but they had, like, either locations or small games built into it. And so you would get minifigure Bionicles that were just a single cast one piece, and then you would build an entire, like, building of, like, oh, you followed the heroes as they stormed the castle. Here's the castle they stormed in the comics. And then you get to build that as, like, to scale. Just because doing an actual to scale with
An
Bionicle scale in the building, yeah, you would be getting Lego Star Wars prices before Lego Star Wars got greedy. Or, sorry, after they got greedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's... I just don't like how they try to reboot it. Because I checked out the reboot for Bionicle back... Because they tried doing a reboot back in 2017. And it was the worst way they could have implemented it.
You see, they could have easily, like, rebooted if they just focused more on, like, Hero Factory pieces and just simplified some unnecessary pieces.
Yeah, if they did the simplistic route with Hero Factory, it would have been fine. Because people thought the story behind Hero Factory was okay, but the models were actually pretty okay. I liked some of them. Now, I liked having bendable limbs, but I didn't mind. I did get Hero Factory when it was on the shelves.
Yeah, I actually got, like, I want to say 3 or 4 Hero Factory sets. And they were not that bad. You could, like, use the Hero Factory sets pretty well. Like, they had maybe, like, 3 or 4 different torso pieces that you could actually use. And they had the connection points where it was kind of intuitive. Like, yeah, here's one for the chest piece, but then you can have one for, like, a tail. Or you have these extra 2, like, connection points, like, right beside the shoulders, where you connect 2 other things.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I just didn't like the hand sculpts, because I liked the older... sculpts with Bionicle, just because those sculpts were a little bit more versatile, and so it was a lot more fun to pose around.
You could use them even just making weapons and stuff, and they look like they would fit in.
Yeah, and when you did the scale for the spears, if you had like a giant shaft, you could just move the spear up and down through the middle, like, finger section. Or if you wanted to put the connection point as the hand, you could use the 2 side parts to make it look like the hand's holding the spear at the top. It was a lot more versatile, and I had a lot more fun with that type of sculpting. But...
See, I didn't mind the, like, hand sculpt they had for Hero Factory. I just didn't like the fact that I would basically have to sacrifice, like, an arm panel to be able to make, like, a cool weapon on their arm or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, like, have to replace an entire hand. Now it just looks off.
Yeah. Hero Factory had an interesting going for it. I was not against it. I thought it was okay.
With a little bit of work, it could have been done really well.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it was just... They toned it back from how complex Bionicle was at times. And then they just... People didn't like how toned back it was, so they just let it go.
Yeah.
From what I remember of it. Like, I don't know the actual complexities of the entire situation. But
well,
it was refreshing as someone who wanted to get into Bionicles to have Hero Factory.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Duplo before you get to play with Legos.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, because they rebooted Bionicle in 2017, and they took what made everything interesting about it and kind of watered it down. Like, I think that was kind of like the thing people didn't like about Hero Factory, was it was Bionicle but watered down. The issue is when you watered down Bionicle had to water itself down because they kind of took inspiration and or straight up words out of the Maori dictionary. But the original concept was, for Generation 1, it was based on, oh hey, the main creator had cancer. And so the hero showing up in capsules in random places around his body were his anti-cancer pills going in to fight the infection in his body.
Huh.
And so it was kind of that intelligent design of, there was something as a reference, but that carried on for the whole series, and that just kind of felt interesting. And that was part of Bionicles. The heroes showed up when they were needed, and the entire thing is, you are on the body of God.
That, I actually didn't even know that.
Yeah, the entire
That is nice.
Up until the 4th movie, so before that one, the Glatorian era, the entire world and everywhere that takes place, you're on various parts of the defeated god who is put into slumber by Satan.
Huh.
And that's why it was Bionicle is Biological Chronicles, because everything was just a reference to different body functions. The Matoran are the red blood cells, the Makuta were the white blood cells, so on and so forth.
You should not be blowing my mind right now. God. That changes everything for how I saw them. That's insane.
But that's why Bionicle was so cool, is there was a level of design that just made it... They were taking a concept from real life and making it more interesting and for kids. But that was, again, inspiration comes in the weirdest ways. They just had enough inspiration to know, hey, this is a cool idea, why don't we run with it? And so they did.
I literally just thought that, like, they, like, just got the coolest idea ever and just, like, made an entire world just for the idea. I didn't even think about that. You see, I haven't read the comics or, like, really watched too much outside of those 2 movies I do own.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
In
I didn't know about the whole cancer part until much later in life. That one I learned back in like 21, I want to say. So that was news. That was news to me when I first heard of it. But I just thought that was super cool because I didn't know about that. But when you looked at the references and how they organized everything, it makes sense the more you look into it. And if you ever get into the comics, I will say, between the Hordika, or the 3rd movie, and then the Enaika, you have, again, because Bionicle was made for kids, they just have an entire arc going over eugenics.
Refresh me real quick, what is eugenics?
It's the study and perception of controlling genetic conditions within a population so that you only get the desirable traits in said population.
So selective, like, breeding or something like that.
Yeah, so gene therapy, selective breeding, sometimes survival of the fittest. You can also get into details of, like, some people do that for Planned Parenthood. That is part of it. It's kind of that whole thing.
Probably the closest, like, thing that gets to talking about it is the Viltrumites in Invincible.
Yeah, basically.
For, like, the one.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where it all is that they just deal with how how in the Bionicle world, different masks have different meanings, and you get certain powers if you are elevated from a Matoran to a Toa. The issue then becomes, how do you get the best powers? How do you combine everything? And there's a guy who was experimenting on people and fusing masks together in abominations. And of course, this is a kid's comic.
Wasn't like that scene... Okay. Wasn't that scene like in the third movie?
No.
Where like the dude was experimenting with masks? I thought I remember seeing something like that.
So, Vakama is a mask maker. Basically, the masks come from somewhere, and so in Ta Metru, all the Fire Matoran, they would make the masks from raw ore. However, there was a guy cutting off sections of masks and gluing them together and fusing them with different materials. It went from, I'm gonna have this disc of ore, I'm gonna carve and bend and shape it to be in the shape of a mask, and I'm gonna cut off your face. I'm gonna cut off your face, and I'm gonna stitch you two together while giving you his arm.
As Optimus Prime once said, give me your face.
Yeah, basically. Oh, I don't want to get rid of anything right now.
You know something that is very strange for me to think about?
What?
How many times Optimus Prime actually goes for the head? Like, in all the properties that he was in.
I mean...
Because, like, alone with Bayverse, he's, like, ripped multiple people's heads off or, like, apart.
I would just assume that's just because when it comes to Transformers in general, from my limited understanding, things don't really die unless if you...
Like, whether they're still in the womb and all that stuff. But for, like, Transformers is external. Because at that point, they're all still liquid metal and stuff.
Yeah.
But then their bodies, it's like, they can get damaged to, like, extreme conditions. But generally speaking, if they are, like, leaking energy on them, then that would just cause, like, their spark to die, or whatever.
Okay.
But, like, generally in most cases, if they're leaking energon...
I think it's just OBS, okay. Okay. Yeah, Crab, I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you. I assume you might have muted? Something came up? I don't know. Alright.
Okay. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. But in the first Transformers movie, they wanted to kill Jazz off as, like, the one casualty to the Autobots.
Yeah.
So they had to rip him in half, and obviously he's gonna be bleeding out from that.
Yeah.
But then they wanted him dead for whatever reason. And so in the comics, I think that they expanded on that scene a little bit and had Megatron eat his spark.
Oh.
Which, I mean, I can kind of see why they didn't do that in the movie, but God, that's... Megatron literally just ripped out his soul and just ate it, I guess.
Yeah? Yeah, that is a lot darker, but I like the implications behind it, as far as making Megatron evil. Because, you know, I like having villains unironically be evil.
Alone in the movie, it had like a flashback scene to Megatron, and it literally just showed him fucking chuck a spear at some dude and like impale him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that one scene was just kind of funny to think about because like it's just so quick. It just shows a flashback of Cybertron being controlled by the Decepticons, and the first thing you see Megatron do, chuck a spear and just impale some dude.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna rule with an iron fist, you gotta be pretty cruel. This is also kind of back in the early 2000s too, so we still had villains who needed to be portrayed as villains and not sympathetic.
Oh yeah, I love villains that just are irredeemable monsters. Ones that you want to die.
Issue with villains is I don't mind having a redeemable villain, but if they're going to be redeemed, you have to make it so that they aren't a genocidal maniac.
Yeah, like Kylo Ren in like the Disney trilogy. He literally had a weapon that blew up like an entire solar system.
Yeah.
How are you gonna have someone?
Grab. I lost you there again, sorry. Alright, now I hear you again.
Alright. But as I was saying, with Kylo Ren though, it's like he has a solar system destroying weapon. I don't quite understand how they can try and make a sympathetic villain out of him because like he already has like something that's far worse than the galaxy has ever seen before.
Yeah.
Like, a planet destroying weapon's already bad enough. That's why the Emperor had it. He was an irredeemable villain.
Yeah. And a phenomenal politician.
Yeah. But then, like, the galaxy had also been ravaged by war for how long? Where they were basically already destroying planets, but just on the ground itself.
True, they were upping the ante.
The Dugs were, like, mining their planet dry for oil.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it does up the ante. I don't mind the fact that they had that multiple galaxy killing or like multiple planet killing weapon, but it's like
it just kind of came out of left field. And maybe this is just me being more of a contrarian, or just because I am indifferent to Disney in general. But I really just don't like how they kind of came out of left field with Star Destroyer, but better. And there wasn't much of an explanation as to how they built that without anybody noticing. Because...
And my main thing is, a lot of the First Order is just, we took inspiration, just a little bit of inspiration from the Empire, and you look at it, and it's just a walker, like an AT-AT with a goatee.
Yeah.
Like, 10 times as big, but with a goatee. It's like, you look at it, and you're like, that's an AT-AT. And they're like, no, it's an AT-AT STD. Something like that. It's like, what? Yeah, I get it. It's supposed to look familiar. But you can have new things. Like those half-track like speeders that they have. Where it was like the tread on the front and then like they launched the jet trooper in the air. those were cool. Those were unique and cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
And to see them overshadowed by just AT-AT Mark II, it it just kind of baffles me, like the design process.
Yeah. I think for the most part, uh, it's there's so much of just what went wrong. Because there's so many things that were unironically good that I can support. Then there's some things that just... There wasn't enough build-up that really felt interesting enough for me to care about what they were doing.
Yeah. The best way that I can describe the Disney trilogy is it's a trilogy of great ideas with poor executions.
Oh, absolutely. Especially because
Like,
they stole Finn's entire story arc from a comic book. That was a different Stormtrooper. Granted, that Stormtrooper was white, and he did become a Jedi, if I'm not mistaken. But Finn got sidelined, and everybody hated it.
what they could have done is still have Rey become the Jedi, but have Finn become a Jedi too. Have like an ending fight scene where like they're fighting off against like Kylo Ren and someone else. So like Finn uses his blaster, Rey uses her staff, but then they trade the lightsaber back and forth between each other.
That would not be bad. I'd be down for that.
Then that gives them an excuse for the camera to focus on one fight over the other.
Yeah.
Have the camera following like the lightsaber.
I also think it would have been better if instead of... Because they kind of hinted that there was chemistry, that maybe Finn and Rey might have been an item, maybe not. I kind of wish they just became like... I would say like rivals. Kind of like how you see like childhood rivals in some animes where it's like, oh yeah, here's a protagonist, here's the antagonist, but they're not really villains or a hero. It's just, hey, we're working in the same field. I'm just trying to one-up you. I think that would have been a lot more fun to have them kind of go off of each other of, oh, hey, this is what I can do. Oh, you did that? Oh, that's so cute. Watch this. I think that would have been a lot more fun.
Kind of like how Obi-Wan and Anakin were.
Yeah, except they both start from nowhere, no idea and no understanding of the Force, and learn together. Because the original trilogy, Luke is learning about the Force from a mentor. The new trilogy, Anakin is learning about the Force from multiple mentors and then going through war. This new trilogy could have been, we have two people, no idea what they're doing, they're learning together and playing off each other. That would have been a very... I mean, to steal George Lucas, it would have been a poetic way to up the ante while exploring similar territory.
And at that point, without them having a mentor, you could have them accidentally dabble into the dark side too.
Yeah.
And like have to learn that you have to balance the Force.
It would have been perfect. Okay. My other opinion as well is that... Oh, sorry, what?
I was going to say, unfortunately, we don't work for their writing team, so...
Yep. My other thing is, if I were to actually redeem the series, I would set it 100 years minimum after Return of the Jedi. Just because no cameos... We don't need people alive. We don't need to nostalgia bait the audience with, hey, remember these characters?
See, I did not mind Kylo Ren being in a relation to the Skywalkers.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I also thought that him killing off Han Solo was actually a very, like, good point for like, cementing him as evil.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Take a well-known person and have him die to the new villain. That's... If they do it well, like what they did, then that really cements them as a bad guy.
And I am okay with that.
Yeah.
My thing is, I would have just set it 100 years in the future, just so that way it's, hey, we can't ruin the character if they're not on, like, in the movie. My whole thing is I would have just put it as, okay, there's a slight issue where the past 100 years, although they've done well in rebuilding after destroying the Empire, you still have to rebuild a solar system that went from a literal fascist empire to, oh hey, we now just have a ragtag group of people who kind of get along and hate each other, now having to work with each other. You could easily just go with, yeah, certain sectors want to break off the Republic and rule themselves without being under another government, and would cite, hey, remember the last Republic we had? There's a reason why we were okay with the Empire. So different sections would section off, different wars and skirmishes would happen. But of course, that would be in the wake of, hey, they did everything they could to rebuild, and so you'd have I would have it start on Coruscant, and the main characters, at least some of them, would be walking by and there'd be a plaza with statues erected of the original characters, like, honoring them. It was like, this is their legacy, this is what the galaxy they built, and we're here to protect and preserve what they did for us.
Or, like, have them travel to, what was it, Yavin 4, and then, like, see statues of them, because there was that whole ceremony there.
True, that would also work. But there would at least...
like...
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, at least there would be some sort of meaning with the group. Like, we would honor their memory without having to have them cameo directly. Not because I don't want them in there, but just because there's limitations, and if you focus too much on pandering, you're just never gonna have anything original that people want to work with.
Yeah.
Because every time any legacy character showed up on, like, in the movies, I kind of just cared about them because they overshadowed the new characters just because the new characters weren't interesting. Why would I care about Rose Tico when Lando Calrissian is back on screen? If the main man is back, I want to watch him.
But, I will say this. It seems like almost everything, like, handles Kylo Ren's characterization better than the movies did. Because, like,
oh my
Star
gosh,
Wars
the
Battlefront
comics.
2, the Star Wars Battlefront 2, they had, like, the whole campaign for it. And at the end of it, you get to play as Kylo Ren. And you invade, one of the characters' minds from that game. And you're just absolutely dominating his mind, killing off all the guards that he mentally sends after you, and just annihilating all attempts at resistance. And through that campaign, it shows that, like, they were building the, like, entire fleet that they had, like, way off in, like, the Outer Rim colonies. And they were, like, doing all this just as covertly as possible. And then as soon as they had that fleet, they just sent everyone in.
And that makes sense.
Basically, they had like a few just Star Destroyers for each system.
But yeah, I would also kind of, if I had my way, I feel like the best way to really handle any new Star Wars IP right now, keep it small. We don't need the galactic scale. People liked the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian because it was small. The scale was small. We weren't saving planets. We were saving communities or your own skin.
Yeah. And I know that this will probably be controversial, but like, even with the Book of Boba Fett, it was all in one area.
Yeah, no. As much as I will criticize Book of Boba Fett for certain things, I like that they tried to keep it in one area. Just being able to keep everything just in that area, keeping it all in a bit more of a, I would say, how do I want to phrase this? I guess I would say I liked how they kept everything local because it felt more impactful to me. Because I just didn't want something with too much pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that, if I were to make another series, I would want to do something where you would just focus on like one small area. Like, if I could, my ideal thing would be, because I know that Disney's wanted the High Republic era to work, and they haven't written anything that people care about the High Republic to do anything about it. But I think it would have been really cool if they actually did a cyberpunk detective story in Coruscant. You go to the lower levels where, because of how Coruscant is, the lower levels are the seedy underground full of criminals. All of a sudden, oh hey! Pretty easy to get lost and disappear when all you do is go to somewhere where nobody wants to go. It would work pretty well. And of course, because body augmentation is normal in Star Wars as long as it fits, unlike the mods in Boba Fett because they were way too shiny for a desert planet. Like, there is a precedent you could have for that kind of setting. It's just everything so far has been too big.
The mods in Book of Boba Fett look more like they belonged as extras in like Cyberpunk property.
Absolutely.
Like Cyberpunk 2070.
Yeah. Because Star Wars has always had cyberpunk aspects with their tech, and so I'm not opposed to the cyberpunk aspect, but they had their own art style and feel to it. And the biggest crap I give to the mods is they were too shiny, and like the one guy who, like when he was fixing Shen, Boba Fett went, "Are you gonna cover that up?" He goes, "And hide all that mechanical marvel? No way." It's like, dude, you are in a desert planet. You want to cover that up so the sand doesn't get in there. That's because if the mods were on Coruscant, I would give them more leeway, because I think they would fit in Coruscant, because Coruscant was always cyberpunk. Tatooine is the worst place to throw in a group of technophiles who keep their circuitry exposed. They're too...
The only way it would work is like Wastelander looking.
Yeah, if they were Wastelander looking, I would have been okay with that, because that would have made sense, and it would have been thematically appropriate for the planet. They were too clean and shiny and city-like to be living in the middle of the literal sticks. And not even sticks, because you can't afford sticks there.
Oh, wasn't like Tatooine said to have like a whole land speeder modding community?
Yeah.
Like basically hot rods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it would make sense to have stuff more like that, but like, didn't they literally just have a whole bunch of like mopeds?
Yeah, they had shiny mopeds. Again, if they were like not as shiny, I would be more lenient. But everything was shiny as if they just built it and brought it off of like the design floor. Like, oh hey, here's what the design team and the prop guys made. Let's bring this into like the series. It's like, cool. Can we get it dirty? Because that's not something you would want. Because like episode 1 took place on Tatooine. Not a single one of the pod racers was shiny and pristine like that. The mods were unnecessarily shiny. They were too clean. But I don't know. I just feel like... Ah, there we go. Now everything's reconnected again. Just wondering about that.
I was also picking up an order for DoorDash.
Hey, no worries, man.
But yeah, like the mods, they would look like they would be more at home on Coruscant.
Mm-hmm. Coruscant would have been worked really well for him. Hell, I would have been fine if they were like freelancers who came from Camino, because the shininess would have actually shown decently against like the rainy backdrop of that world.
But then Camino was also like pretty much fully destroyed.
Yeah, thanks to
like
the Empire.
So honestly, it would have been nice if they were like from Coruscant, and like then that would explain all of, like the body mods and all of the stuff. Just have them like hunting down parts that were in Tatooine or something like that. Just conveniently there. That way, then they have a reason to be there and interact with Boba Fett. Because then he can be like, "I'll give you the location of these parts if you help me out."
And that would work. I would have also been okay if they were just happened to be there, if they would cover up a bit more. Just be like, hey, I like to keep my circuitry exposed, but I don't like sand damage in all of my circuitry. That's a bit of annoying. There's no...
What they could do, have it so they have special coverings for it, and then uncover it like whenever they're in a room.
That
or
would
like
work.
Just talking to
someone.
Yeah. And then like they could have done the same with the vehicles, like have them covered up, but then like whenever they're parked in like a garage or something, then they uncover it. Or like whenever they're parked on the street just hanging out, uncovered.
Yeah, that would work.
Like, they could have made it work. Out of all the Book of Boba Fett, the mods were the only ones that I really just had issues seeing on screen because of the fact of how they looked.
No, absolutely.
How everyone knows it's a loud place. You throw a few coverings on it, now they look more in place. Yeah, they look like they're not from there, but they look like they are trying to keep their stuff without damage.
Yeah. It's just... there's potential in the idea. And I don't want to say that they're just, oh, it's unsalvageable, there's nothing that could have been done. Like, I don't want to be that harsh on it, it's just... they really went about implementing it in the worst ways. Because they had a really solid idea.
As I said earlier, they have solid ideas. Just, they are implemented poorly.
Yeah. I don't know. Because my other idea is, if I were able to magically write a Star Wars story and get a script off the ground, my whole thing would be, I would just straight up do Firefly, but in the Old Republic. Just because all you need to do is, okay, how do we sell a new Star Wars series? We're gonna go away from the original trilogy. The original 6 movies? No, nowhere near there. We're gonna go...
and then the cool thing with like possibly having a detective style thing is then you can explain smaller parts of it, like the smaller parts of the universe that won't get explained, like a war-based movie.
Yeah.
Like, you can be like, because of how this works, it affects this thing in the room, or something like that.
Yeah.
Just, they could like easily flesh out the universe a whole lot more just by having a detective thing.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Detective would really do wonders, being able to have somebody who can do lore building and just interacting with the world naturally.
But then you take like all the scenes that you see like in the background of these actual big movies, and you just explain a small part of it, like here and there.
Yeah. I would also say that I would want to do, with the Firefly in Old Republic, it'd just be very easy to do that as a series. Because all you have to do is, oh, they're weapons dealers. And so they're smuggling weapons from the Republic control space and the Empire controlled space during the Uneasy Truce after the sacking of the Jedi Temple in the Old Republic era. everybody knows that era because that's like one of the most watched like Old Republic trailers of the entire series.
Yeah.
But there's just not much that I'm trying to think. It's
With
just
the Old Republic, there's not much that was like actually explored in there. Like you
yeah,
have the games and the trailers and stuff to explain just how like the combat and that type of stuff will be, but not just like general living.
yeah. And even worse is the fact that there used to be a lot of book series set in the Old Republic. I remember reading a lot of them as a kid. My favorite one was there was a spy for the Republic who went into Imperial controlled space and tried to get certain things done. Mostly with sabotage on like Imperial warships. But it was such a
Yeah.
cool story, but now it's non-canon. But if you just had people who were lowlifes, they're breaking the law no matter which government they're under, they can tell you the positives and negatives of living under the Republic or the Sith Empire.
Which I do find it kind of ironic how they make a whole bunch of things non-canon. Like, as I always say, I don't understand why Starkiller is not canon. Like,
Starkiller was originally made non-canon because he was too powerful. He kind of power crept Star Wars back in the
then
day.
you have characters like Darth Nihilus and all that, and then like they start to say, well, you can't clone a Jedi, and then it's like Disney literally has that in canon now.
Yep.
They clone like Palpatine.
Yeah. Well, it's because originally, if you cloned a Force-sensitive person, it was, I think the old lore for that was that the clone would not be a clone because the Force would be too strong, or the Force would not be with that person, sensing that it was not the same person.
Yeah, and that was actually in Force Unleashed too, with like the ending fight where you fight Vader.
Yep.
Like you have to fight a whole bunch of imperfect clones in Starkiller, and it's like so that clone that was there was a rarity.
Yeah.
And then if you play the bad end where you try and kill Vader, then like you get killed by another clone. So it's like Vader just got the like super rare pull in the gotcha system twice.
Yep. But that's kind of why I liked how balanced it felt with everything.
Yeah.
But there was also the other side of just Starkiller was so powerful for the original trilogy that it made a lot of people just go, how is the rebellion supposed to win if evil Starkiller exists and kills Starkiller if you choose the evil route to kill Vader?
And simply put, that's because it's a non-canon like ending, and they just want to have fun with it.
Which
because
I do
at
like
that point, you look at it as well. This is just like Marvel's What If.
Yeah. But that's just kind of been a whole thing that I've noticed over the years. Is that Star Wars has a lot of potential if it's in the right hands. It's just so far we haven't seen a lot of we've seen a lot of stuff get decanonized, and then we've seen Disney go, "Oh, we need something to do. Let's rip off our own IP that we made non-canon."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Because if we did Smugglers during the Old Republic era, you then have, here's the good, here's the bad living under each government, here's why this group, like, here's why these people support it, here's why these people support it. but you don't get it from the Jedi or Sith philosophy. You get it from the average Joe who's like, hey, either way, you have to acknowledge that as normal people without the Force, this is how we see the galaxy. It'd do
Yeah,
wonders for world building alone.
then you could like even make a whole thing where like they have to run from either a Jedi or a Sith,
Yeah,
and like show just how scary it is for the average person.
yeah. There's a lot of potential. It's just you need to have somebody who's interested enough in the series that's willing to think about these things. We just don't have anybody thinking about them.
I would love to do something where like it's, you know how Lego had the whole thing where it's like rebuild the galaxy for their like fun Lego sets for Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Shady.
I would love to do something.
Sorry. Yeah, I did send you one, Shady. I sent it to a couple people that I know and trust, just so that way if I'm ever in stream, you guys can come and heckle me live. Crab is the first one to come out here and heckle me. But yeah, sorry. You were saying, Crab?
I would love to do something where like as I was just saying, you know how there was a whole rebuild the galaxy thing for Lego Star Wars?
Yeah.
Do like a rewrite the galaxy where you try and include every story that you can and just tweak things so they can all be canon and exist together.
Okay. Well, because if that's the case, then... Because now that Disney's allowed clones to be in Star Wars, you could easily put into... yeah. For Force-sensitive clones, at least. Since Disney opened that can of worms, you can do the Dark Empire and the normal Empire stories. Because there's the whole Dark Empire story from like the 80s that came out, where Luke rose and remade the Empire in a better way and took over after Darth Vader. But then there's also the other one where instead Luke becomes the sage that we know and love, and this was the more popular storyline, where he became the sage, he became the mentor, and then his children and then Han and Leia's children were the future protagonists with Mara Jade, and everyone else. I'm trying to remember their names. It's been so long since I've even read those books.
I just don't remember the other ones.
And no worries, Shady, I get that.
I think that like Darth Talon was like one of the antagonists of the newer stuff, like that George was planning.
Yeah, they were gonna have Maul and Talon be part of like the crime syndicates as like, hey, now that the Empire died and the Republic's kind of rising up from the ashes, you have to remake a government, and in the middle there's gonna be a power vacuum with a bunch of criminal gangs taking over. So that was kind of like that whole part. And yeah, no worries, Shady. I sent that to one of my friends and he asked me the same thing earlier today, so I get it, trust me. I'm not a big fan of Discords. I don't use Discord that much, but I got a couple people here. I figured I know people. I'll at least try to be friendly and I'll let them know, hey, if you want to heckle me, just feel free to do so.
I was actually sitting there like for the 20 minutes I was in the Discord before the stream. I was just like, do I really want to hop in and talk?
It's all good.
I have anxiety, so it's like my brain was like, no, you don't, but yes, you do.
Well, that's just how it is. And besides, it's not like I'm necessarily a large streamer. We've got, I think, 2 people watching right now, and one of them's me because I've got my phone open so I can keep track of stream and sound checks.
Yeah.
So, I enjoy having people around and I like talking with people, but like I said, I do stream for fun, not really because I have an audience or anything. Though, I feel like that's actually kind of disingenuous to say I do technically have an audience. Because people do show up and I do talk with people, it's just... I'm not always able.
I try and catch what you can.
Yeah.
Usually I just sit there and, like, randomly, like, say words every now and then.
Yeah. That's just how it goes. Oh. And we soon get my favorite sequence of the... I'm just going to let Vulpix keep struggling. Pull the gem. And we're now flushed away. Welcome everybody, this was an Artemin reference all along. You just never knew.
So I grew up in this town that I'm currently door dashing in.
Yeah?
And a while back it had like a flood. So like basically the entire first story of like houses and stuff were covered underwater.
Oh boy.
I mean, now they're finally getting ready or getting around to like tearing down some of these buildings. So like,
Really?
and motel is just gone, and now I'm able to see the Mexican restaurant behind it.
Wow.
Or like, they had these two gas stations, same exact like business, but like just two different locations, staring right across the street from one another, and like one getting torn down now.
Okay.
And so it's weird to see that just driving through. Because I grew up and those have been there since I was a kid.
Oh, fair enough. There aren't really too many areas that flood that I know of. Last time we have... I don't think I've... Because Oregon does have some floodplains and places, and we even have an entire city that was demolished because of a flood, but that was years ago. We haven't really had too many of that.
Yeah, this flood happened maybe a year ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it was something like, there was a bunch of heavy rainfall, the dam couldn't take it, and a bunch of it got, like, loose, it went down the river and ended up flooding the town. Which then backed up the sewer system. So it was bad. Other than that, it was like one of the first videos I saw of how bad the flood was. Someone was taking like boat down Grand.
Wow, okay. I feel like that'd be kind of trippy, is just one day you look over or you wake up and you just see that, oh yeah, there's just a guy riding a boat. There should be a car there, but that's a boat.
There were some places where like people were taking boats and they had to be careful because there were cars under the water and you could just barely see the top of their like roof.
Yeah.
I mean like trucks and stuff. So they were a little bit higher up.
Yeah.
Apparently the flood is something that happens like every 40 or 50 years or something here.
Oh, gotcha.
His last flood was like 50 years ago, and then like the flood before that was like 40.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I know, they really have the Mayan calendar over here.
I mean, if the place has been around long enough, then hopefully you should be tracking that kind of stuff. Because if it's a surprise every time, then you're just asking for more casualties.
See, I don't know about that stuff, but when it started happening, everyone was able to get out. No one really died from it. It
Well, that's
happened slow
good.
enough that they were. It wasn't like a flash flood.
Well, thank goodness for that, yeah.
But like before that, the biggest like tragedy this town has seen is a firework went off in a fireworks shop and lit half the town up. So like half the town burnt down because of that. And they recently like relaxed on the firework laws here.
Oh,
That,
gotcha.
that was like 1980s, 1990s, something like that.
Oh, that makes sense. Hmm. Yeah,
Or maybe it was 19. I don't know. Before I was born, that's all I know.
that's understandable. I get that. Nah, for most of what has been happening in Oregon is it's just more fires. Thankfully we haven't had any floods. We did have a tsunami happen about a month or two ago, I believe, where we had to evacuate a part of the coastline, but that's all I remember. And I haven't heard too much about what happened in the aftermath of the tsunami. I want to check the area because I used to live in the area it was affected, but I haven't had the chance or the money to get gas and just go out and drive there.
Yeah. Well, with Iowa, with no like bays or anything around, no like massive bodies of water besides lakes. It's like the most that we ever have to worry about is the occasional flood and
Mm-hmm.
maybe a tornado.
Ah, I gotcha.
Iowa is like right at the top of Tornado Valley.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I've never really had to deal with a tornado. I'm very thankful for that. We do get dust devils in Oregon, but outside of the occasional dust devil catching fire, we don't really have much that actually is devastating as just a funnel of wind.
See, I feel like that would be kind of scary to see. Just one of those catching fire.
Yeah,
Like,
it's it's quite terrifying when it does happen.
it would be terrifying, but probably cool looking.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of like beauty in danger. It's awesome, but you kind of look at it like, "Oh, I don't want to get near that, but I do want to get pictures of that."
Yeah.
But oh goodness. I need to get a drink of water real fast. Yeah. Thankfully, I haven't drank through all of my jug just yet.
I have a big jug of water.
When I say big jug of water, I've got a simply limeade bottle that I drink all the limeade out of. I just refilled it with water. And
Um,
Poggers, use code Quail for 10% off your order. I will be showing this now.
I saw that. I was actually about to ask a question,
Uh,
but you know, like the 1 gallon bottles of Hawaiian Punch.
yep.
I have a bottle that's similarly sized. That was apple juice that I cleaned out and turned into a water bottle.
Yep.
And I've already drank like about half of that. That's just because I've been sitting in a hot car.
No, that makes sense.
I usually drink like a massive bottle of water. At one point, I had like one that was a little over a gallon, and I would just heave that thing up to my mouth one handed.
Ah.
And as I was blinking, I did that, and like I caught like three of the kids that were still in like high school staring at me, just jaws dropped. I'm like, I I'm more surprised you guys haven't seen it with how much the sports like how much money they throw towards sports here.
Ah.
And again, I just don't want to have to pour myself a glass, so I usually just drink straight out of the bottle.
I mean, understandable. I used to carry a gallon, like, I cleaned out a gallon of milk when I finished it off, and I just used that for water for a while.
Fair.
But that was also
The
back when I
only
did
reason,
wrestling.
yeah, the only reason why I don't use like milk carton or no milk cartons, milk jugs for the water is because then if I go wash them out with soap, I usually use very hot water, and so then they just like collapse when the water's being poured out.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. I know that my family also likes to buy spring water, which, when those come in gallons, it's a lot easier to clean those out just because it's just water, thankfully.
Yeah, water is water, microplastics and all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Which, oh gosh. All the microplastics
I
stuff really is concerning just from all the studies I've been seeing come up recently. Like, I like the meme
yeah.
that we're full of microplastics, but I feel like there's a definite health issue that we're gonna be having to answer for because of it.
Humans are just gonna meet like hyper intelligent aliens that are like, oh well, here's really clean water, and they're just gonna look away, and we're just gonna spike with microplastics.
If we don't get clean water, neither do you.
That's basically how humans are with how petty we are.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. I am petty enough to make it happen.
Evil scientist gets cancer, so he makes a cancer gun, so the world has to suffer.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It just reminds me of the Harley Quinn TV show where
Yeah.
she uses the
The
cancer ray.
Harley Quinn, you gave me cancer.
Oh my gosh, who would make such a messed up thing? It's like, I gotta
I
go.
mean,
I want to spend the last time with my family.
I mean, the one thing that makes me think of is that one like skit that The Rock was a part of, where like it was an evil scientist like invention contest, and he makes a like robot that sexually molests people, and they're like, well, how do you even make that? Well, I made a robot, and I sexually molested it a few hundred times, so it knows how to do it.
Oh
And
yeah, I
everyone's like
remember that
freaking out, and
skit.
he's like,
Yeah.
and everyone's freaking out, and it's like, well, this is an evil invention contest. That's pretty evil.
Yeah. Yeah, no that. Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, he understood the assignment a little too well.
Everyone else was just thinking, what can I use for evil that doesn't have to be evil? Just a general invention.
Mm-hmm.
Like a freeze gun, you can literally just make that with like liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Oh, you can even make a flamethrower. But both of them can be used to like preserve food or to cook food. They have practical uses. What does a molestation bot have for a practical use?
Oh, come on, OBS.
out of all the games that I used to play, it's like all of them are getting all this hate, and the only ones that like are still staying like relatively good is Terraria and Minecraft. Even then, Minecraft has its controversies.
I haven't played either. I know of them. I've known about them since the beginning. I've just never played them. Granted, I didn't have a computer or a lot of high-powered consoles that could play those games either.
Honestly, Terraria on a console is a little bit difficult. It's better on like computer and mobile.
That's what I've heard.
The reason why is because like the controller has a lot more limited buttons. Meanwhile, with mobile, you can literally just program it to like you be pressing something with your finger, and then you can like do the menus to there easily.
You just get a high access to keybinds, and that just makes a world of difference.
Yeah. So like I play it on console. Like that's where I have all my progress that actually saves. And whenever I play it, I almost have to get like out my keyboard and mouse because like that's the easiest way for me to play it.
Fair. I definitely prefer keyboard and mouse when I can. Though with this, I'm playing on a Nintendo 64 controller.
Fair enough.
The best song in the game.
I actually turned down my volume so then nothing like does the like looping audio or anything.
Fair, fair.
I've been enough Xbox parties where like someone has an echo and it just starts screeching.
Yeah, I know that. He'll traumatize you in Gen 4, or he'll traumatize you in the Mystery Dungeon games. You can't escape the giant skunk. Not to mention, the skunk has a pompadour.
I might have to like start getting back into Pokemon. I like know nothing about it now.
I mean, I will say it's very easy to emulate just about all the games up to Gen 8 because before the Switch, everybody's been emulating Nintendo games and consoles that my laptop is not that good, but I can run an emulator for everything before.
As long as you can run Doom.
I mean, true. That is true.
I've seen people run Doom on so many things.
I think the most recent one I saw is somebody got Doom running on a tampon. Or no, it was a pregnancy test. Sorry, pregnancy test.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, how do you get it running on a pregnancy test? How do you see? How do you play? Why would you do this?
They are dedicated.
It really
Like,
is. You have to play Doom on everything.
Doom has like 3 fans. The fans of the new games that just love the power trip, the fans of the old games that just love the like gameplay of the old games, and then the fans that get it running on everything.
I feel like the fans that get it running on everything are the ones who just go, you know what would be funny? What if we did this?
Yeah, they just literally like, I feel like they just have a wheel, and like every week they just spin it, and they just challenge the community to like get running on something new.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just the Wheel of Doom, and if like their house ever gets swatted, they will have a very fun time explaining that.
Oh, for sure.
So going back to something that was mentioned just a little bit earlier, I actually have one of those old Halo novels.
Really? Which one do you got?
I got The Flood.
Ooh, that's a good one. I've read that one.
I have not read it yet, but no, you don't even have to worry about spoiling it or anything. I purely got it just because I'm a fan of Halo.
No, that's fair.
I've seen enough onto it where like I know the whole plot of it.
Fair. I would say it was a fun read. I haven't read it in over a decade, so I couldn't say details on it. I remember reading that one. I liked it a lot. But I bought The Flood and I bought Reach, like the Fall of Reach novels from Goodwill at the same time. Those two I found out once. I read the prequel book series that focuses on the crap, what are they called? They're not Prometheans yet. Yeah, the Forerunners. There's like the trilogy with the Forerunners in it.
Well, the Prometheans are not even like Forerunners. They're Forerunner tech, but they're actually just ancient humans.
Oh, that's right.
Like the monitors are actually just ancient humans that gotta keep their like personalities and some memories.
Fair. But yeah, I just haven't kept up to date with that stuff, and that's just something that's been on my mind, is because I wanted to read the ODST books, because the Rookie gets his own spotlight for a bit in those books and then dies.
Yeah, and it does kind of explain like Buck's whole position in Halo. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. I didn't hear what he said at all.
Oh, I just said, oh wow, sorry.
Oh, okay. But yeah, my first experience with anyone on the Osiris team was around when I started playing Halo 5. I had watched Halo Nightfall, and that had launched me. And all I can say is that doesn't really do much for his character.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as Team Osiris goes, Buck already had an established personality from ODST games, and so they knew what to do with him. And so he was easily the best, just because it's so hard to screw up what people already loved, or they went, okay, they loved him, we're gonna do more of the same.
Yeah, with the other members, Locke, he was semi like how his character was in Nightfall.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But like then for Tanaka and Vale, I don't know nothing about them. I'm pretty sure that Vale fucks the elites, but I don't know for sure. It's like the way I see it is like I'm pretty sure that she does have relations with an elite, but I cannot prove it because I've never seen any of the comics or like anything like that.
Oh, that's fair. I couldn't say for certain because I couldn't care less about Team Osiris outside of Buck. Locke was like, I kind of got what he was going for. The character was, I think they could have done more for the character for me to care, because I have seen Nightfall, and I think that's kind of where I didn't see Nightfall till after I saw everything in 5. Nightfall made me care a little bit more about Locke, but I just didn't care enough.
Yeah, when they had Halo Waypoint, it glitched out and gave me access to Halo Nightfall, and that's how I got to see it. But like I only really knew Blue Team for Halo 5.
Yeah.
when I went into it, it was like I only really knew Blue Team, and that was because of Halo Legends. That
Makes
was the first
sense.
time I saw Flynn Kelly, and very good place to see them. It really did them justice.
Yeah.
Kind of wish that they brought in Spartan 1337. If you know who that is, then
1337
you know.
stole the show.
Honestly, Spartan 1337 was my favorite, only because like he was so goofy and obviously just a parody.
Oh yeah. Easily stand out for just having a fun goofball who's overconfident, but shown to be competent. Just
Yeah.
He had a good personality. I liked him a lot.
Basically, the best way to describe him, where John is lucky, he is just unlucky.
Yeah.
Where John is like more calm and reserved, he is more loud and like cocky.
Yep. Sorry,
honestly though, Halo Legends really had like good characters in it.
They really did. And sorry, I got stunned for a second. How is Geodude's defense so ass, but his special attack is his best stat?
You'd think that a rock would have good defense.
Well, because in the actual games, his defense is, like, good, and his physical attack is good, but his special attack is bad. In this game, I somehow got a Geodude whose special attack is his best stat? That... I'm surprised by that.
It's okay, he's just skillful.
Apparently.
Instead of a shiny, you got, I don't know. You got Dole.
Alright, well, we're adding Geodude to the team back, but now I'm really curious what moves I can give him.
There was like this one RPG game where it like had 3 entries into it, and each one had like a different RPG style. And in there, like, you could get to the end theoretically with all the like people still alive, but it was very hard.
Oh, okay.
Because like if they died in the counter, then I think they actually died.
Oh.
I remember playing it off like the Sega Genesis collection, and like I always challenged myself as a little kid to get as far as I could and not let anyone die.
Okay. Deathless challenge runs are pretty fun.
Well, it's like, as a little kid, I didn't want any of my friends to die.
Yeah. No, that's how I am with Fire Emblem. I'm pretty bad at it. To this day, I still don't want any of my characters to die.
In Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, I did a perfect run as good as I could because I didn't want to lose any of my companions that I could avoid losing.
Understandable.
I sat for a few like extra hours to get all the resources I needed for Mass Effect 2. That way all my people would survive.
Always
And
noble.
I got one of my friends into the game, and I told him, hey, as long as you get all of them loyal to you and do some upgrades to your stuff, you should be fine. And he apparently didn't realize that I meant ship upgrades.
Oh.
So before he even like gets touched to the ground with his feet in like the final mission, half of his team is dead.
Ooh.
Oh, I messed up his game.
Yeah, that's... Ooh, man.
And luckily he was playing it on the 360 version with no DLC. So I was like, because Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, where it's all 3 games with almost all the DLC.
Okay.
I told him to just play the Legendary Edition and just like then try and fix his game.
Okay.
Because then he gets a whole lot more options for like the third game.
I still need to actually play the Mass Effect games.
They are good.
I know they're good. That's kind of why they're on my list. It's just right now, I need to upgrade my computer so I can actually run something that can play them. Because my laptop does okay, but I'm already struggling with OBS to run this alone. This is not a computer-intensive game. I'm running an emulator.
Yeah, if you do ever upgrade to that point, though, then the Legendary Edition is a really good thing to have for it, because it's literally just the first 3 games all in one package.
Okay.
Seems like a bit more optimization and a few remastered graphic areas.
Okay. I'll definitely look into that.
Mass Effect is one of the games I played as a kid, so I can tell you quite a bit about it. So if you ever get stuck and like have questions, then you can always just hit me up too.
I'll take you up on that. I definitely will. Because it's one of those games where I knew everybody I've talked to who's played it, they all love it, so I know I'm gonna have fun if I ever actually do play it.
Also, there was an anime-style movie for the third game too that introduces James, one of the human companions in that.
Oh, okay.
So definitely something to look into as well.
Yeah,
if nothing else, it can help. If nothing else, it can help introduce you into the world of Mass Effect, so you understand a few things.
Makes sense.
Because it's placed between Mass Effect 2 and 3.
Oh,
so you see a little bit of like the enemy type from 2, and then you get introduced to like one of the characters from 3.
Okay.
But I would also highly recommend the Legendary Edition for the fact that you do get the DLC, so you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on that. Because of the fact that you get like DLC that relates very heavily to the actual lore building, like the Leviathan DLC, stuff like that. It helps explain the enemy that you had been fighting the first 2 games.
Oh, okay.
Also, it is set in like one of the most terrifying parts for me. I am terrified of the ocean.
Ooh.
It's set on like a Camino type of planet. So, yeah, mostly ocean, and underneath is huge creatures.
Interesting. Okay.
Like the 2 things I can compare it to is like Camino from Star Wars or Subnautica.
Yep. And I enjoy both. However, I don't necessarily like... Oh, I didn't realize you could get debuffs in this. Uh-oh. But I will say, as much as I like sea shanties and actually sailing, I don't like the ocean, and I do not like swimming.
You like the surface level, but you don't like the deep sea.
Yep.
Right? I get that. I will say this, if you do ever play Black Flag or like Rogue or anything like that, I don't know if it's in Rogue, but I know it's in Black Flag. There are parts where you dive down under the water, so you can like explore shipwrecks and stuff. And then if you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you also can go underwater for a lot of things.
I mean, I'm down if it's in a video game to go underwater. I'm more hesitant if it's real life.
Understandable. I just okay. Here's going to be a conflicting statement. I am terrified of the ocean, but I love Ponyo.
That makes a lot of sense.
I am obsessed with the ocean and what is in it, but I am terrified of it. I had actually just found out that anglerfish are not as big as what people make them out to be.
No, they're pretty tiny.
Yeah, and it's everyone makes them out to be this huge creature, but that's just because they are fucking zooming in on their camera on it.
Oh yeah.
And it's when you zoom in enough, a fishing line looks like a rope.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't help that the most culturally known portrayal of them is from Finding Nemo, and even then they are much bigger in that.
Yeah, because if I remember right, they're actually much smaller than a clownfish.
Yep. But we need to have something terrifying to scare the children.
Yeah. Should have just thrown the blobfish in there.
That would have been fun.
I know the blobfish looks a lot nicer underwater than it does above water. It's the way it looks above water is just so funny.
Oh yeah. There's a reason why we all loved it.
Unfortunately, as soon as they go above water, they're basically dead from pressurization differences.
Yep. But that's just how pressure and physics work. Sad as it is, because I would love to see somebody at a zoo or some sort of villain have blobfish in a tank in a comedy series, and then somebody accidentally breaks the tank and all of a sudden the blobfish just inflate on the ground. Just Father! And he goes, no, my children! As a CGI gag, that would just be funny as, oh, the hero accidentally killed all the blobfish that the villain owned. That's, oh no.
Just like the hero throws the villain against the glass, it cracks and just shatters. And all the blobfish just go around the room just deflating.
Father, help. We got delivery quest.
I think that would give the villain a reason to get serious.
Yeah.
Because that would be a very expensive tank to even have.
Oh, for sure.
Not even considering you would have to capture the blobfish and transport them into it.
Yeah. While maintaining intense pressure.
Yeah. It's that would be a heck of a flex for any villain.
Right?
Put him in put him in the pressurization chamber. The what? And then you just see him get thrown into the chamber that he puts all the blobfish through.
Oh, yeah. Oh man. So much potential for a James Bond villain, yet we are who knows how many years away from another James Bond movie.
You know what? New Austin Powers movie.
That would be more fitting for it, actually, yeah.
At that point, they could actually just make it a little bit funnier and have the villain start going over how expensive it was to set all that up.
Yeah. Then you have also be man, those fish on groovy, mate.
I actually just saw the one Austin Powers intro that had Tom Cruise and all of them, and Danny DeVito as Mini-Me.
let's say I really haven't seen a whole lot of Austin Powers. I really should actually go back through and watch it again.
Austin Powers like one of the better like parody movies I've seen. Like I remember like the whole era of like parody movies where they were just like funny.
Oh yeah.
Like Wayne's World, Blue Dome.
Scary movie series.
Oh yeah, I have 1 through 4 of those on disc.
The first one I saw was 3, because 3 has Leslie Nielsen, who is my grandmother's favorite actor. And so as soon as she saw him on the cover, she went, yeah, we're getting this.
I remember like the intro of 4 where it was Shaquille O'Neal and Dr. Phil.
Oh yeah.
Didn't 5 have like Mac Miller and Snoop Dogg?
I never saw 5.
I haven't either, but I've seen clips of it. Pretty sure I had them, which I would want to get because, I mean, Mac Miller hasn't been in too many movies that I know of.
Yeah, I can't name any off the top of my head.
I think it was Scary Movie 5. Because then, like, I think that they kind of laid off of it because they were starting to get, like, too heavy with the celebrities.
Oh.
Like, it was already, like, starting to get heavy with celebrities in, like, 4, I think, where it, like, had Charlie Sheen and all them.
Yeah, but Charlie Sheen had been in so many spoof movies up to that point, too. Because the Hot Shots series was essentially just him.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, I haven't seen the Hot Shots series in a while either.
I've never even seen that one.
You've got Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2. It's basically just kind of making fun of Top Gun. Like, it's kind of a parody of Top Gun, but also of just, like, military movies in general.
Okay.
Because the second one is more of a heavier spoof on Vietnam. Because he goes into the jungles of Vietnam. But
I'll be right back.
Let's see, it's been so long since I've actually watched it that I don't remember too much about the plot. I think he was saving like a British spy. I'm trying to remember now. This in here. Okay, well. Now it's just me alone with the voices in my own head. Alright. Well, how's everybody else been doing today? I know it's a little bit different than my normal stuff by having somebody on stream talking with me, but I just figured, I know a couple of friends, if they want to heckle me live on stream, they can join in on that. So, I hope it's not too jarring and too weird. Oh me, oh my. Okay. Seeming to be doing surprisingly well using a fighting type move with Starly. Oranberry, Cherry Berry. This wasn't a destination flow, so I don't really care too much. Swap me. Okay, because just from here I need to make sure that I keep everybody alive, especially the Kabuto, so I don't lose the escort mission. Because don't we love escort missions? Oh. 1 sec. Hey, no worries, man. It is what it is. That stuff just happens. Okay. Bristle, let's see. Okay, destination floor here. How many left do I have on force ball? 3 left? Okay. Oh, that does that. Okay. I think we're good enough. I should be able to ginseng now. Me. Crap, it got quick attack. No. Oh, topmost, not most used. I mixed that up. Alright, well, quick attack's stronger now. That's annoying, but it's a ranged option I have, so I guess we're gonna do that. Okay, so goofed there. I don't know how I never actually thought about that. Granted, I almost never use the ginseng, so I guess that is my fault. Okay, we got a big apple. We need to deliver one of those to somebody. I also need to figure out who is on this floor that I need to help. Have myself eat that. Pick up the warp seed. Cherryberry blast seed.
Crack a lacking, dude.
Oh, hey man, how's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, we were at the gun range when they sent me invite, so I had to get home.
Hey, no worries, man. It is what it is. It's good to hear from you again, though. How have you been holding up?
Oh, good. Megan and I, like I said, we just went to the gun range, and then pretty soon here we're about to leave to go play D&D with Eric.
Oh, hells yeah. Still the same campaign, or did you guys start a different one?
We played a couple. We are playing one with it's 5e, but it's just assault rules, where every time we get a level in 2 classes.
Oh.
I am back.
Alright, what's up? Okay. So what kind of class are you running for the D&D game then? Yeah, I should probably introduce everybody in there. So, Crab, this is Mighty Elf. I just know him from real life. He's one of my good friends I've known since high school. Then, do you care if I use your real name, or should I be using Mighty Elf as how I introduce you?
I don't care. I've tried doing that stuff in the past, and I usually end up flipping up. So let me know if you want me to. Since they're yours.
I'll say my name. My name's Tristan.
I didn't hear that. What?
My name is Tristan.
Oh, pretty close. My name's Justin.
All right. And then I'm Isaac. All right, perfect. So we got that going. But yeah. Tristan's a guy I've met while I was just working on doing YouTube stuff. I've known for a few years. Justin, I've known since like 2015, I think.
2013, because we both graduated 17.
Yeah, but I met you when I moved up to Washington in 15. Because 13, I was still in Oregon.
Sorry, I was just telling my wife who I was talking to.
No worries, man.
But yeah, are you streaming now?
Yeah, I'm streaming right now, actually. I'm doing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, that's a classic.
Right?
I got that. A DS still.
Oh, boy. just gonna... White one, who are you? What do you want? Ah, this guy. Okay, never mind. We're gonna ignore him.
Diamond and Pearl.
Honestly, I had Platinum. I never played Diamond or Pearl originally. I had the Platinum version. And I think Gen 4 is interesting because they made some good innovations, but I'm definitely not the biggest fan of the region design. If I know that's very much a hot take.
I don't even remember at this point.
Oh gosh, how do I explain Sinnoh?
It's not a big deal. I don't even. The only thing I don't even. I'm the type of player that doesn't even do statistical moves. All I do is the only stat that matters is their HP to 0.
That's true.
Well, to distract you guys from the topic at hand, Quail, or Isaac, what is your profile picture on Discord from?
Oh, this is Lash from the Advance Wars reboot camp.
Okay. Never seen that.
Yeah, basically, she's the mad scientist for the evil faction, who in the third game turns traitor because they almost kill her. So she goes, they're trying to kill me, you guys are just trying to arrest me. I'll just work with you guys.
Yeah, at first I thought it was Deku from My Hero Academia just because of the hair.
To be fair, that's what I kind of assumed as well.
I mean, I'm not gonna blame you because yeah, the hair is green and very similar. I would like to state for the record, I would never be caught dead having an MHA profile picture.
Okay. The only one that I would ever have is Toga.
Okay, but crazy women always get a pass.
Yeah, that's the only one that I can ever do. I mean, maybe if I'm going for a true gamer joke, I'd put on Shigaraki or something.
True.
But
Shigaraki would be good. I'd also do the Frog Girl.
Oh.
Froppy. Okay, fair.
Froppy's got a fun enough design that if I was gonna do a waifu picture with that, yeah, I would do Froppy. I would have no shame with that. Oh, I know, because I even bought a snapback with Froppy on it back in 2016.
I had a sweatshirt with Toga on it, but then it got messed up. So fortunately, don't have that no more.
Tale as old as time. No, it's... If anything, the thing that I'm hard-pressed for is I've been trying to find anything with, any of the characters that I do like from some of the anime I've been watching recently that are decent. Because I like to wear it in public if it's not too degenerate. However...
That's a fine line right there, too.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z does a good job of being able to be not degenerate.
Yeah, I've never...
I would say so, but then my wife started watching it with me, and there were some moments.
Yep.
Well, because I one that I would want is from Quintessential Quintuplets. My favorite was Nino. I'm like, okay, Quintessential Quintuplets, they've got their moments of animeisms, but they're normally fairly clean. They're well dressed. I try to find anything. I'm like, no, it's all swimsuit models and editions.
Yeah, you forget the show might be 99% completely clean, but the fan base will focus on that 1%.
Yep.
Well, it's I saw the other day, there was this person complaining about, what was it? Sonico or something like that.
Oh.
And well, we were complaining about how she's always sexualized and all that, and I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about it, and I look in the comments like, okay, now I know a little bit about that.
Well, especially with, because I don't know the series for Sonico, but I know with other series, it's like, yeah, you can't get away with certain things, just because with the community, like, I know, for example, I like Monster Musume. I'm never finding a single thing that's clean enough to wear in public from Monster Musume.
That one is almost impossible to find something not.
Yeah.
That fan base especially, they focus on that show. To be fair, is a lot more of the sexualized, basically.
Oh yeah.
No way.
That's where anime merch without being like spotted the extreme edition.
Have you seen the picture of the guy that made I think her name was Mia, the Snake Girl's body pillow, and it was like 40 feet long and it was wrapping down the stairwell?
Yup. I think he's got a picture of it with him curled up with it too.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
I don't remember which character it was, but like this dude had like over 400 cutouts of this one character.
Oh.
Just learn about his house.
Oh lord. Like I said, fan base.
Yep. It's part of why I both love and hate the anime community with how crazy we get. Because with some of it, I just look at it, I'm like, I can't help but just respect you for committing to the bit like that. And then I watch some of the other people, I'm like, I wish you would stop.
Okay, please stop.
My wife was watching an anime, Apothecary Diaries.
Oh, yep.
And I like caught like a little bit of it here and there. And I was like, so what's it about? And she's like, I don't know. I was only watching it for the hot guy. I'm like,
she's watching for the plot.
Absolutely. I will say, as somebody who has seen Apothecary Diaries, it has a good detective story if you're not distracted by the hot guy.
Oh, trust me, I'm not distracted by him.
Alright, I gotta get ready for D&D here, so I'll pop in probably later when I see you guys.
I got closed early, and I had like Soul Eater and Fairy Tale.
Yeah, fair enough. But it was good to hear from you, Justin. I'll see you later, man. Hope everything goes well at D&D.
Nice to meet you.
If you're interested, my wife and I are about to host a Minecraft server, so maybe we'll get you a mod pack or something sent to you.
Oh, damn it. That means I might actually have to play Minecraft.
I mean, I plan to hop on. It'd be nice to have people like to hop on with.
Alright.
Well, I'm paying the version later.
Well, I'll keep in touch, but take care, Justin. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Oh boy, I was not expecting Justin to hop in like that. It was a pleasant surprise. I haven't seen him since his wedding, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, though, I kind of got like exposed to that stuff early on. It doesn't affect me now.
Oh yeah, I'm so desensitized to it. The problem is,
not everyone else is.
yeah, I'm self-aware enough to know that like something I think would be cool is something that doesn't necessarily mean that it would be acceptable to walk around in.
You see, with like Soul Eater, there was at least like a small enough amount of it where I recommended it to my wife, and so like she did get interested in the world of it. It's just awkward now because of those moments.
Yep. When you have the anime-isms hit. My friends were trying to get one of our mutual friends who doesn't watch anime to watch one. And it's because season 1, they had it was a very wholesome love story where they didn't really deal with any of that. Or any of the sexualized anime-isms. Then season 2, they just had a bunch of scenes in the bathtub that they're just like, no, wait, no, this is so wholesome. We just got our friend who doesn't watch anime to watch an anime. And shit went down from there.
That'll ruin all the trust.
Well,
There's
again,
one
none of them
ML
watched the season ahead of time. We all just went, hey, we watched this with you. Let's watch it together. And then...
There's one like recommend that any of my friends or like my wife or anyone watch, and that's Heaven's Lost Property. And it's like
That's on my list.
I don't think I could look them. I don't think I could look them in the eye after like watching that with them or whatever. Because I hate to admit it, I watched it until I had no more episodes to watch. I don't know if like it ended or like what, but I just know that there were like a couple seasons that I watched. I was like, huh, okay, this is something to watch. I started, I'll finish it.
I mean,
I'm just like, now I can't like show anyone that.
I'm very much... I mean, it could be worse because as a teenager, I got curious and I watched some of Queen's Blade. But now with my namesake, I'm very tempted to go, what if I just watch the whole series and make an entire review on it?
Dude, I saw a meme earlier today, and it was like I watched porn for the plot, and then it showed like a clip of like a fight scene that like someone animated for a porn video.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Pink Shonen one.
Oh, yeah, I know the clip, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, shit got intense. Way too intense for porn.
Yep. Yeah, I think I know the clip you're talking about because I think I've seen that too.
The one where like the bunny dude is fighting against the one with like the tattoos that turn into portals.
Oh yeah, that was the second version. Because there was the same guy with the same bunny kid fought somebody else beforehand.
Yeah. And I think it was like a snake chick or something.
Something
and then
like
like
that.
the part two saw like them doing it like like changing room, and then like took a picture or something, so the guy chased him down.
It's been so long. Cause I know of like both videos. I haven't watched them. I've just seen like the memes of like I watch porn for the plot. And it's those animated fight scenes.
It's like sometimes they make the most insane shit. And it's like I don't know how like they managed to make such an engaging story just for the fight or whatever.
Honestly, I would call it the book talk effect is how I would define it. Because if you've talked to any woman who consumes smut or porn, they will always tell you the way to get like the female brain and like for them to be emotionally invested into it, they need a story to go with it. And so for people who are making strong stories, that's just how they get like a stronger female demographic into it.
Yeah, I guess I don't like see. Okay, it's weird to fucking talk about.
I figured, don't worry. It's a very odd conversation to have.
It's like, how do you put together like Mortal Kombat like fights and porn? That's just like, I just don't know how they manage that.
Newgrounds. That's the only answer I need to give.
Fair enough.
Like early 2000s Newgrounds and early 2010s Newgrounds. That.
Fair enough.
Things were crazy back then and we knew it.
been on Newgrounds for a while.
Well, going on Newgrounds really doesn't have any, unless if you follow creators there. I don't really go on Newgrounds anymore.
The only creators that I followed only like 2 creators. I don't remember the name of one of them, but I know the other one was like Dark06 Star.
Huh. I don't recognize the
But
name.
like, I'd say check them out if you ever get the chance. They made some interesting games on there.
Okay.
But like, I don't remember what the other one was, but one was like this, I think, time travel based game, and the other one was like zombie based one, and they were just kind of like a little bit. The one was a serious story. The other one was like goofy. The zombie one was goofy.
Yeah.
But they had interesting mini games and all that for them. I don't know if they're still making any like new additions to it. I think last time I checked they weren't, but maybe they were just on hiatus at the same time. I don't know. I might have to go on Newgrounds again.
I mean, how do I explain this without getting too detailed? I'm gonna have to change one of the words in the name, but when I was a teenager, I went there to play the meet and greet games.
Oh.
Yeah, you know exactly what I mean.
I just exposed myself, no! Oh, you know what, fine. I'll admit it. Yeah, I played those too.
I mean, my name is my name. I can't escape my own fate. I labeled myself as is.
I was single once, that's all I can say. Oh.
Yeah.
The realization that I just owned myself with my reaction. That got me in tears now. Oh, crap.
Well, I was like 14 at the time. And so this was like 2014 era Newgrounds, so it was very easy to find those games too.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been on Newgrounds in close... I was about to say, I think the last time I went on there was like 2017. But I assume they've changed their format, upped their security, especially with how things have been in the recent years.
I mean, now they're definitely like a lot better at keeping all the adult stuff in the adult category.
Yeah.
So I remember there were a few times like in the mature teen category they had some of those games.
Yeah, but that's
that
also
was like kind of my first big
I mean, fair. But that was also kind of back during when if you were on Newgrounds, you were kind of far gone. Like,
yeah.
Normal people did not go to Newgrounds. If you went to Newgrounds, you were an internet, like, normal person. Like, you were on the internet pretty frequently. You were kind of raised on the internet at that point. And that's not to be, like, an indictment or to, like, hate on anybody. It's just... You just got to deal with the fact that if you know of certain websites or if you were on certain websites, you knew too much about certain cultures. Like, I was never on Wattpad, but I knew what Wattpad was because I had friends who wrote on it, and they were just as internet poisoned as I was.
What was it? You know Crush Crush?
Yeah, I know Crush Crush.
I played it on a website that rhymes with Funtaku.
Yep,
You know that
I had an
website,
account on that website. Yeah.
And like that was because I heard somewhere that had more content. I was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll play it on there for more content. And I go on there. I'm like, oh wait, it's this type of website. I'm like, what is the content? And like, I sank way too many hours into that.
I mean, Crush Crush was fun, and the story was endearing if you actually paid attention to the story with the characters.
Yeah, it was. I pay attention to the story. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you know how awkward it is on a school computer? I never got caught. I never got caught. Oh.
Fun side story and your tests. So because of that, well, so
I did not.
They mandated every student had to have their own laptop, and so we decided to be smartasses, and we decided to check, hey, how's that profanity filter? Do they filter the websites? Do they know what to filter? And so we went to the said website to see if we could get there on the school Wi-Fi, and we could. It was not censored.
My school made sure that things were censored, but at one point, I don't remember if it was Google Slides or Google Docs, they had an image search on there. So I was just searching up images in class. I'm like, I'm surprised that they haven't like tried to filter this yet.
Honestly, I think it's just because with our school at least, it was a bunch of Christian boomers. OBS is rebooting again. We might be back now, but
okay.
On the topic of that website, there was a game that was an Advanced Wars clone that I remember playing like once years and years ago, and I got decently far into it, and I liked it a lot. It was fun. It ran slow on my computer because it was a browser game, and also my laptop was not exactly powered for gaming. But a few years later, when I decided to go back to the website to see if that game was still on there, because I'm like, hey, I want to play an Advanced Wars game. That's the only one I know that's kind of new and I haven't played. I couldn't find it anymore, and I was kind of sad because I'm like, darn. Because the sex was optional in that game. It was literally just, oh, you need to collect this character, upgrade said character multiple times, then you unlock those scenes. I was in it fully for the love of the game, because the gameplay was Advanced Wars with waifus. That's all I care about.
You know, now that I think about it, Pokemon Black was not my first experience with Pokemon. It was one of those parody games.
You know what? Fair, it happens.
Hidden memories. God, love and hate them.
Oh, yeah. We memory hole things for a reason sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just exposing myself today.
Oh, I'm always exposing myself. That's why I never show my real face.
I mean, you should probably not phrase it like that. That makes it sound so much worse.
I mean, true.
Oh, jeez. I haven't thought about those websites in a while.
I haven't either. How? Okay, I'm now curious. How do we... No, that's how we got on that topic. Never mind. I remember.
Wait,
now.
what?
I was about to say, how did we get on the topic of these websites? I'm like, oh wait, no, I remember our conversation now. Wait a minute.
I don't remember like how we got on the topic. I've just been yapping.
Well, as soon as we started talking about Newgrounds, it was kind of over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna store some stuff because I don't want everything that's in my bag. Okay. Man, I really hate having this small of a bag. But no, man, it's... I haven't even... You know...
What's worse, I have the windows on the van that I'm in.
Well,
having a Walmart with the windows down.
I am so
parked
sorry.
on the far end of it, but
still, I am so sorry. If there's a homeless man in a bush nearby who's just confused out of his mind.
Just a man in a bush. Fun taco. What's that? He's like thinking like all the possible like combinations.
It's nothing short of a landmine.
Worst part is, since I'm in my hometown, I actually know people here. So I'm just kind of really hoping now that none of them here and hear that. Heck, I don't know if one of my friends later. Like one of the ones that I had as a friend in like high school and stuff.
Ah. I'm gonna snag one of these. But, oh boy.
As a game title once said, life is strange.
You know what the funny thing about that is? That game's based on where I used to live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Arcadia Bay is based off of the Tillamook Bay area in Oregon. And I used to live in that area for a few years, yeah. I still go back and visit there from time to time. But yeah, when I was...
don't know, like, anything about
I mean, I mostly just know it for... Oh, whatchamacallit. I mostly just know that area because I lived in the area and I played Life is Strange for a little bit. I actually have never finished it. I probably should finish it because I think I've gotten to like Act 2 or 3 is the furthest I went. Because I would always go through Act 1.
I think I finished before the storm and Act 1 of the first game.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to actually play through the whole game because I know people rant, rave, and love the game. It's kind of a game where I just don't... I struggle because every time I've played the game, because I've tried to play it like 3 separate times, and every time I've played it, the only person I care about in the game is Kate, and so I've always saved her. But I don't care about anybody else except Kate in the whole game. It's like, I'm sorry, my best friend who I rewound time and saved you from getting shot in the chest. She's not necessarily a bad person. I just don't jive with her personality. Then I'm like, you know, this is supposed to be like an entire game where I impose my values on Max, and then how everybody treats Max is how I'm supposed to view that they treat me. Like it's supposed to be like a self-insert kind of deal. And Chloe,
Who's
it's just...
again? I don't remember.
So what?
I remember Max and Chloe, but I don't remember who Kate is off the top of my head.
Kate is the girl who, if you don't talk to her and look out for her specifically, she will commit suicide by the end of Act 1. Like, she will jump off a building, you're trying to, like, talk her down, and if you fail, she falls.
Oh, okay. I guess I never failed that. Huh.
It's kind of that thing where I think
Wow.
for people like... I can't speak to your experience, but from my experience dealing with people with a lot of mental issues growing up, I could see, like, it was heavily written and heavily foreshadowed. Yeah, Kate needs some help right now. And so I always took extra time to answer her phone calls, to answer her texts, to reach out, check on her. And so that when it came time of, like, the prompt came up, I've been there for you, let me continue to be there for you, she actually believed me. But I saw somebody else play it, and they didn't do anything to help Kate. They're like, no, Kate's fine, Kate's fine. And then all of a sudden, oh shit, Kate's not fine.
Oh, so relating that to another game, Mass Effect 3, it has the human companion from the first Mass Effect game that survives. It has them, like, fall into a coma. And basically, to get the good ending, like when they come out of the coma with them, is you have to visit them in between, like, these dangerous galaxy-saving missions, and you have to visit them, like, constantly. Otherwise, then they will be mad. They will be like, I woke up from a coma, and you didn't visit me when you were off fighting aliens that were threatening to destroy civilization as we know it.
Oh my gosh. That sounds exactly like a plotline I would see from people.
It's like, I get it's important to prioritize friends, but it's like a little bit of insight. We are in a galactic war against a species that's been wiping out civilization for millions upon millions of years.
Yep.
Like,
you gotta get your priorities straight.
If I were in the, I guess if I were in that position, if I was in a coma, I would wake up and be like, hey, there's the end of the fucking world there. Let's focus on that.
Right? That would kind of be my thing too. It's like, hold on here, guys. I appreciate you came to visit me, but you were a soldier? Why were you... I guess it's kind of like one of those things
Funniest
where...
part is,
it's kind of...
part is your character is promoted to a Spectre, like a super soldier, basically. And then that character that goes in the coma is also promoted to a Spectre.
Oh.
They're like the same rank as you. You're pulling that shit. I'm like, wow. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's supposed to be an emotional thing. I get it. It can be heartbreaking not having people there, not having people visit you. It's just...
Read the room, buddy.
With the setting, it's just kind of funny. It's just kind of funny with the setting, though. Like,
yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
All the other characters, they're just like, oh, well, yeah, we're in a war. I'll be fine with helping you out. Even if I don't like you right now, I'll still help you out a little bit. Unless I'm really pissed off with you. In which case I will try to kill you, but I'll still try and help other people out. They're just, like, focused entirely on, like, just you, not the fucking ancient beings that are gonna kill everyone.
Yeah. Perfect. Finally get a monster house.
Monster House is a good movie.
That too. I'm just excited because monster houses in this game are really good for grinding sessions. Oh, I didn't set right. Yeah, I like fighting in monster houses. They're fun. Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those writing things where you can see that for some people who wrote that in the script or for the game, it's kind of like, I see what you're going for, but it also shows a bit of a lack of like how militaries work.
Yeah, it does, but oh, it's just a plot point that wasn't fully developed.
Yeah.
I mean, they did rewrite quite a bit of plot of Mass Effect 3 because it got leaked, I believe.
Really? I did not know about
Yeah,
that.
I think that like one of the gaming magazines or something like leaked the ending, so then they rushed to change it, and like they also went back and changed a few more plot points, something like that, or like they spent they were going to use to refine certain plot points on rewriting it.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what all happened there, but it's like there were obviously like some more people put towards certain things.
Yeah.
Because they have a whole like how do I explain this system? Basically, for every like action, interaction, all that, they have consequences that last into the third game.
Okay.
And so if you do everything right, you have a whole bunch of galaxy points that you can get. And those galaxy is like the fleet that you take on the enemy with.
Oh.
So like, let's say you don't punch a certain reporter for all 3 games. Then she allies with you and gives you immediately 50 points. Or you like stop the Quarians and their robotic creations, I guess, from killing each other, and you get both their fleets. Now you have like 300 galaxy points each, something like that.
Okay.
And so it's like you have all these massive issues because the world has been established and it's supposed to be something that's been around for a long time. So, like, as you are like going through, you find out about these like massive issues, like the Genophage, which was created by Solarians, deployed by Turians against the Krogan, because the Krogan are big angry bullfrogs people,
Okay.
and their entire like species is revolving around war, killing, profit. And so they were brought into the Galactic Citadel to deal with the Arachni, which were giant, like, bug creatures that were
Okay.
ravaging the, like, galaxy. And so they deal with them. They think that they're extinct, and so now they have a bunch of big angry bullfrog people that are causing problems themselves. So how do they deal with them when they have a high reproduction rate? They cut the reproduction rate.
Okay.
And so basically that makes it so like only 1 in every 1,000 births are like an actual live baby.
Oh.
The rest are like stillbirth.
Oh boy.
And so a lot of the females end up committing suicide over it. Yeah. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And so in Mass Effect 3, you actually have a chance to fix it. And if you do things right, one of your companions will actually risk his life fixing it.
Okay.
And it's like a very good ending because like that companion also was one of the people that worked on the Genophage.
Oh.
So you see like his mind
Okay.
and so it's like a very like cool ending to it. Honestly, one of the best endings to the storylines they introduced, or whatever it is, or the battle for LA or whatever, had the aliens that look like that.
Yeah.
then the Turians, or no, I said the Turians, the Solarians, the ones that made the genophage, are like salamander-looking guys.
Okay.
And so, like, the Turians are very militaristic. Well, their entire, like, civilization is like a military.
Okay.
Drills and everything. So, the Solarians are very scientific.
All right.
Well, like, Mass Effect actually did a pretty decent job at making it so your actions have consequences.
Honestly, I do appreciate that.
Like, if you don't like a guy and you, like, shoot him, it can actually affect your galactic score at the end of it.
Which kind of makes sense, because
So
if you are wandering around killing people, you are going to make enemies no matter what.
To be fair, some of the prompts to, like, kill people are pretty cool. Like, there's one guy that's basically, like, mocking you to your face, saying, "Oh, you can't shoot me, otherwise the rest of the building will know that you're here." And you can just shove him out the window.
That's beautiful.
There to hunt the guy down too. And so, like, you grab like taser thing,
Yeah.
and you can, like, literally just say, "Here, I think you're working too hard. Take a break," and just taser the guy because he was,
Okay.
like, working on their helicopter.
Fair enough.
Those two were from Mass Effect 2, the big action game of the game. Basically, the way that's set up is kind of like Halo's trilogy, where, like, the first one's very exploration based and trying to introduce you to the universe.
Yeah.
The second one is very action based and is often received as, like, the best one just because it's cool.
Okay.
And then the third one just tries to wrap everything up.
Okay. Huh. I really am gonna have to get a better desk so I can actually stream and get that done. Because I would like to actually play through the game and see how that all goes.
And I will say this, Mass Effect Andromeda is pretty decent. It's not the best game. You'll see a lot of people say they hate it. That's because it had went back to mostly exploration. And it tried to make everything a little bit more futuristic. Because, I mean, it's based after the trilogy.
Yeah.
And then it also sent them to the galaxy so they don't have to write around all the actions that you've done.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because Mass Effect Andromeda is named after the Andromeda Galaxy, where it takes place. Meanwhile, the original trilogy is in the Milky Way galaxy.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
So yeah, it's a very cool and, like, pretty fleshed out game series.
Yeah.
And it does have very interesting morality things for it. Like, in the second game, since it's however many years old now, I'm just going to say how it starts out.
Yeah.
Your main character died and gets brought back to life by a terrorist group. So then he can look into the disappearance of outer colonies.
Oh.
Because they're all human colonies, and the council is kind of salty against humans. Because
Really?
they're so young in their eyes. And so they think that the humans are being given too much power.
Ah, gotcha.
Meanwhile, the human life is only 100 years, compared to Krogans and Asari that live to be thousands of years old. They're basically the elves of the, like, galaxy.
Okay, and yeah. The young,
In terms
short-lived
of
upstarts
life.
shouldn't be getting too much power.
Yeah. that's basically how like the view of humans is. Like basically what is humans like get like a little jump start into space travel. They meet the other creature or like the other species, and they have a like first contact war with the Turians.
Okay.
So that makes the Turians go against the humans.
Yeah.
And then like the Asari, they just look at it as well, they're all way too young to even be up here. They're only 100. And then like the Solarians, they have a very short lifespan, but they get a lot done in their lifespan because they all like basically go into science and medicine. So they're seen as very useful. Meanwhile, the rest of the council just doesn't know how to feel about humans.
I mean, fair. We're definitely a interesting species as a whole.
So yeah, it's just something interesting because it does show like pretty cool interactions. It also does raise some questions with like interspecies things.
Yeah, there's always the memes about Mass Effect and how you can get it on with the other aliens, which
Yeah,
I think is based.
you can get on. You can get on with almost every other like alien race. I say almost every because you can't romance the Krogan. Because the one that you are there with, he then becomes the leader of his people, and the second one that you meet and have as a companion, and is basically like your child.
Oh, yeah, it'd be weird
'Cause-
to. Yeah, yeah.
But you can get on with the Turians, you can get on with Sari, you can get on with the like Quarians, not the Solarians or the Krogans.
Okay.
And you can also have a one night stand with uh like last of his species alien from the in the what is it? I think it's in the Citadel DLC for the third game. If you don't romance anyone through any of your saves, then you have a one night stand with Javik, the Prothean who is the last survivor of the Prothean race.
Okay.
Because at the end of it, you basically wake up after the party, and then he gets out of the bed from next to you. And I find that kind of funny.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting. It is funny off the top of your head, but like just off rip to hear that, but I think that is kind of cool.
What's even funnier is in Mass Effect Andromeda, like, you get like one of the aliens that were from that galaxy into your squad. And you can have a romantic relationship with them.
Oh, okay.
I never paid attention to them though. There's a female Turian,
I was about to say, yeah,
which is the
I've heard tale of certain companions from Mass Effect who steal the show for the majority of people.
oh yeah, the Turians are definitely one of them. If you play the Mass Effect games, one name that may stick out to you is Garrus Vicarian.
That name does stick out.
He's he is like one of the characters you can have as a companion for all three games.
Okay.
The only other one is Talizora,
Ah.
and that is the Quarian.
Okay.
best way to describe the Quarian is, or the Quarians are, they all have to wear these special suits because they can get sick real easily.
Fair enough. Alright. I do need to hop off so I can get some stuff figured out. But it was good talking with you, man. It was good to stream with you. Oh.
Yeah. I was surprised that you sent the invite out. I was not expecting that.
Nah, like I said, it's for the people that I know and trust a decent amount. And we've talked enough about deeper stuff that I got a decent read on you, man. I'm not too worried about anything. And like I said, just if you ever see me streaming again, if I'm using Discord, just feel free to hop in.
Alright.
Yeah. But thanks for swinging by, and thanks to everybody else in the chat. I do apologize. I do need to get some things figured out, but I'm probably going to stream later tonight. I'm going to do a painting stream because I got another box of minis showing up. And my pile of shame is growing because I also have minis from Etsy I need to get painted up that are coming soon. One of them is Quailag from Dark Souls 1, so I desperately need to get through my pile of shame.